How to use that shit, bro.
All right, welcome back. So, we got a lot of things to discuss today. Welcome back to the At East Cast. It's been a minute. Busy with work and COVID and yeah. So
the first time I've called in sick for a while.
The
first time I had COVID, we did the full 2 weeks on the road, both of us.
Yeah, we're on the side of the road, man. Just like freaking AC on, AC off, AC on, AC off till it passed, dude. That shit put that nighttime dude, freaking Big Stu, put him in the hospital.
Yeah,
that's the last time we had dealt with that COVID nonsense. I was fine, but my partner here, James, and of course I'm Hesco, he was down for the count, man. So sorry about the lapse in videos, but lots happened. So we're gonna start off with a little. Sometimes as podcasters and as social media people, I would say influencers, because we don't influence anybody here. You just kind of put stuff out and you make your own decision, do whatever the hell you want. We don't really care. But sometimes these social media people, they in the rush to get content out to people, they don't really pay attention, or they don't really do some a little bit of digging. I think both sides are, no matter what side of the spectrum you're in, like if you're a conservative YouTuber or whatever, or if you're a liberal YouTuber, I think they all do the same to an extent. So this one's from the Hodge twins. They kind of rubbed us the wrong way because they normally kind of like support the police, type
if
people.
You don't know who the Hodge twins are, they are like right-wing political commentators. They are comedians first and foremost.
They're comedians first and fourest, but this one...
They're twin brothers.
This one's out of... They commented kind of negatively on the... Negatively.
You'll get it eventually.
Yes.
There you go.
Negatively on this video and the police interaction. This is out of what jurisdiction in Texas?
It looks like Longview.
Longview? I think it's so.
I can't really be sure, but it
was
looks
about
like
3 minutes long, but we'll go ahead and give it a play.
What the fuck is your problem?
All right, sir.
10 stars, your goddamn gun don't make you a big boy.
You have a good contact number?
No. Don't ever fucking call me.
Okay. Are you employed?
Go fuck yourself.
Is that company or Inc?
That's some capital F yourself.
Okay.
Capital F. In case you can't fucking spell neither. I know you dumb motherfuckers barely got an education at the fucking police force, but holy shit.
All right, sir. So today you're going to receive a citation for speeding, going 50 and a 40. I was just checked on my radar while we were moving. The court date is 5/7/2024 by 1 p.m. Here's all the court information to include the address, the phone number, and the website. Actually, you need to sign right here where the X is. It's not a admission to guilt. It's just a promise to appear. Go, 37 on. Go ahead. All right, sir.
Now get the fuck off.
Have a better pleasant day.
Shit. The fuck off, boy. What the fuck are you doing? What? Come here. I'm not warning you. Hey, dogs. They're old. Watch the dogs. They're all elderly. Here, grab dogs. And tell your mom. Okay?
Okay.
What's the warrant for, fellas?
Come this way.
What's the warrant for, fellas? The warrant, fellas.
I'll tell you in a second.
Now, you don't tell me right now.
Get up.
What's the warrant for, fellas? What's the warrant for, fellas? What's the warrant for, fellas? Hey, what's that warrant for? I wonder how many times they're going to hear me ask on the body camera when this is going to fucking court. I wonder. Anybody? Anybody?
We're on over here.
What's the warrant for, fellas?
We're putting up the Austin arrested for evading.
I'm sorry, what?
For evading.
Evading what? me. I'm not evading you, you dumb piece of shit. Arrest me for what, motherfucker? You didn't say what the fucking warrant's for, you piece of shit. Get out of the patrol vehicle. I'm trying, you asshole. You got my fucking arm twisted around. I'm working on it, you little piece of shit. God damn it. What, your mama not raised you in any fucking manners, or you just as dumb as your goddamn daddy was? Oh, way.
37, show him in custody.
Holy shit, man. That went sideways.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so just based on that video, like, visually, it looks like the cops arrested him for being an asshole. But if you listen to what the cops are saying, especially the cop that's standing there in front of the dude, he's talking to dispatch.
Yeah.
The other cop is writing him a ticket for speeding 10 over, 50 and a 40 as far as I remember. But the other cop is talking to dispatch. Like, you hear him say, whatever his badge number is, and I go ahead. So, and then he says, 10-4. And then once the guy gets the ticket, told him to get the fuck off his property, and he's walking into his house, he says 10-4 again, and then he goes after him. They just confirmed a warrant. So, but people post this crap without knowing anything about the job, without knowing anything about the process, just visually going off of it, and it's the same shit the liberals do. It's the same shit the left does all the time. And, oh my God, look at these cops. They're overstepping their bounds. They're overusing their power. No, these cops didn't do anything wrong. They wrote him a ticket, and the way the vehicles are parked when I saw that, it looks like he tried to evade the cops again.
Yeah.
And dive into his own driveway and be like, oh, wait, I'm private property now. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
Bullshit. So, I mean, I don't know why. I know there's a lot of people that do that. And there's a lot of people that try to get to their own property. And it's like, I don't know if they think that that's the case, that cops like lose all power once you're on your own personal property, or maybe they know they're going to get arrested and they don't want to have their vehicle towed, which I can completely understand that one. If they're already on their own property, it's like, I don't need to tow your vehicle. Your truck's already here. So
Yeah.
that's fine. But you can catch an eluding charge for that. So, I mean, it's still a charge. So I don't know. There's actually multiple videos. I went to the guy that Hodge Twins originally got it from. His name is Rusty Texan on Twitter. And I'll put a comment on one of these so you can get to it.
Yeah, just send me a...
I don't do that.
Yeah, it was...
What does comment at? And I don't use this shit now.
Yeah, you can just make a comment and just at me, and so
there's a whole bunch of Hescos on Twitter. There you go. And there you go.
Yeah.
So he actually has 3 different videos of this interaction, including the initial contact with the cops getting out of the vehicle. He just turned on his body camera, and he's going to go talk to him. It looks like it's right from the jump. The guy's a fucking prick. I don't know how many interactions he's had with law enforcement, but I hope he goes to bed that night thanking God for body cameras. Because if this was back in the 80s before body cameras, those cops would have fucked a new hole into his face before he got to the jail.
Oh yeah, he would have caught some.
Talk to people like that. Let me catch you, but I'm out of uniform. This badge protects you.
Yeah.
It doesn't protect me from you. It makes me a target. It protects you from me. You have any idea what I'm capable of? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I laugh because nobody, and I've been insulted quite a bit through my years, but Texas insults just have like that extra fucking
the flavor to them,
that extra fucking
that deep south,
little like
burnt end kind of
like,
thing.
Oh my God, like that burnt yellow, you know what I mean? That burnt orange, just kind of like
the burnt orange,
burnt orange to it, like extra Tex-Mex fucking flavor, that like when a Texan insults you, and that twang, it just kind of like God, like you son bitch, and
I gotta give it to this dude. He's quick with his words, man.
He's fast with those insults, man. And I've been called everything under the sun. It's hilarious to me. Like I find Texas insults just awesome. I'm like, it's awesome. It's like for me, like I would have had a hard time keeping a straight face. As serious as that dude
Right.
was, like as soon as he started with that, what are you as bright as your daddy was? I'm like, oh, that is gold. like it's just
Dumb as your daddy.
Yeah, you dumb as your daddy. It's
a bit personal. I wonder if you knew him.
It's a matter of fact. Yeah, a lot of people that knew my dad and know me. Yeah, it's pretty accurate. So it's just that there's just that extra spice to it. You know what I mean? But I got the one thing I saw procedurally that could have been a little better is the communication between the two officers could have been a little better.
Right.
Now, kudos to the officer that was doing the ticket writing, because he was Johnny on the spot. As soon as he saw his partner move in for an arrest, he went and backed him up immediately without too much questioning. But he is also privy to the radio traffic.
Right. He's got
an earpiece, and he's listening into that stuff, so he's hearing. His partner's hearing, but he's handling the citation,
right?
And his partner's handling a lot of the radio traffic because he's occupied dealing with the offender. Mm-hmm. But I guess verbal communication would have just been a little bit more It would have been more for us than for them,
right?
But dude, you got a warrant, and Hodge Twings, you better get an LEO on your speed dial, and anytime you got a video like that,
so you get a cop to explain it to you. If you don't know
call a cop or something to explain that to you.
The job or the stuff that we gotta actually wait for and deal with when we're on a scene.
Yeah, because
call somebody.
Call somebody, talk to somebody, show them the video, tell them, bend their ear a little bit, and because clearly you didn't listen to it. You guys were blinded immediately.
The thing is that they're posting this like the cops arrested this guy because he was being a fucking asshole, and that's simply not the case. The cops were about to go 10-8.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing.
Yeah, they're about to leave.
Yeah. 10-8 means they're clear scene. They're
10-8 clear.
But they're about to go 10-8. They're about to get out of there, go to their next thing or whatever. Unfortunately for them, they got or maybe fortunately, because they probably wanted to arrest the guy but didn't have a reason to. Oh, he has a warrant. He's probably got a warrant out of this jurisdiction. We've got warrant in hand. Mm-hmm. We don't need to call anybody and make sure it's a good warrant. No, it's right here.
Yeah, it's right here. So, I suppose, doing a little bit of research instead of the more the feds go after the innocent people, instead of violent criminals, the more of this will happen. Well, put your freaking feet in your mouth. Because that's not what these guys were doing.
And the thing is, he probably isn't a violent criminal. He's probably just an asshole that likes to drive however the fuck he feels like driving, regardless of the fucking traffic law. Okay, keep getting tickets, keep getting arrested for this shit. Eventually you'll lose your license. You'll start getting arrested for driving on an invalid license and no insurance and all this other shit. Yeah. And eventually you're just going to go to prison for like a year or two.
Right.
Because you just keep doing it. Apparently you don't learn your lesson. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be a while before that happens because no judge is going to put somebody that's a non-violent offender behind prison bars like that. They'll put him in jail for a little while, but not prison bars.
Right.
So, it's going to be a long process. He's probably not a violent criminal. He's probably just a douchebag. But, the Hodge twins are posting that video like the cops were dead in the wrong. And no, they were not. They didn't do a damn thing wrong.
No.
And the guy that originally posted it, I looked at his page. He's genuinely asking what happened because I don't understand why they arrested this guy. Mm-hmm. Valid question. Yeah, for real. Because me just looking at it, I had to watch it twice. And then I listened to what the cops were saying. The cops talking to dispatch.
Yeah.
They confirmed a warrant. That's what happened. And they told him later he has a warrant for evading. Yep. Evading in a motor vehicle in Texas is a felony. So when this guy has a felony warrant, the cops are in his presence. They have to act on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, it's what it is. But the Hodge twins, you guys...
And the thing is, not just the Hodge twins.
It's a party foul.
James O'Keefe from O'Keefe Media Group, who I follow. I like O'Keefe Media Group. I respect them. They are undercover journalists. They have busted a lot of shit out. They have put a lot of information out about what the government agencies are doing. I like it. They reposted the Hodge twins post with the same kind of shit. These cops were fucking foul. No, they weren't. They did their job. They did exactly what they were supposed to do.
You can't... That's the thing about preconceived notions, and people come at something with their minds made up. You know,
Yeah.
they have received an opinion already, and from my understanding throughout the years, the Hodge twins weren't necessarily immune to bad police interactions in their life, anyways.
From what I understand from the Hodge twins, they used to be something like cops, or not, if not cops, or security guards or something.
They were Marines.
I think they were Marine reservists. Yeah.
Yeah, they were Marines. They were both cooks or something.
Were they?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what job they did in the Marine Corps.
They were cooks or something like that. I'm pretty sure they worked the kitchen.
I could probably Google that.
But I mean, no, regardless, it don't matter. But
I want to know.
But it's one of those things. Like, if you're as big as you guys are, you should really, before you take a solid stance, you should
do some research.
Do some research,
or have some kind of advisor for you that will take a look at the content and be like, hey, you don't want to post this. It's not, the cops didn't do shit wrong.
And I've heard it a lot when say Tim Pool wants to talk about something police related or something military related.
Yeah.
And all the people in his, Tim Pool IRL would just talk about stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like,
he doesn't have anybody on his panel that has a clue.
I was like, and it's good content, and you tackled the topic, but you're tackling it from a position of ignorance, because you have nobody with any kind of expertise that'll actually help you mold an opinion on that matter. I don't know. It's just that's not necessary for everything.
Right.
But there are a couple things out there that you should probably talk to somebody that knows before you open your mouth, because it'll make you sound silly or look silly. Yeah. And this ain't gonna do any damage to their overall disposition.
No.
But it's one of those things that you gotta. That for sure, anything those guys say from now on, it'll kind of give it a double look, because clearly they're not doing their research. But I mean, dude had a warrant, dude. It's not.
Yeah. It's as simple as it is. The guy had a fucking warrant.
It's not Big Brother that's out there trying to oppress the population. So, and the warrant's for evading, which is.
The thing is, the way I look at that video, the way those vehicles are parked, he just tried to do it again.
Yeah.
This is what he does.
Yeah, I've had a couple races to the front door, during my time.
Yeah.
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 Whoa.
Yeah. It's my house. I don't give a shit whose house it is.
I've had people pull up at the wrong house too.
Oh yeah.
Like, not their house.
Yeah, pull into a driveway and just
pretend that they're home, and they're not. No, that you don't live here.
Yeah.
The homeowner comes out and is like, "What's going on?" And it's like, "Does he live here?" Hell no. It's like, you lied to me. It's like, I was like, no, we're towing your car now.
Yeah. You're on private property. We have to tow your car.
Yeah. So it's one of those things, man. Like, please do your research.
Or reach out.
Reach out to somebody.
You can't tell me the Hodge twins don't have quite a few police and military friends.
Yeah.
Definitely people that follow them.
Hell, I'm wearing their merch right now.
Are you?
Yeah. Just don't tread on me. That's from them.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, this is from the Hodge twins.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There are plenty of cops that follow the Hodge twins. I like the Hodge twins. I have for a long time.
Yeah, I still do.
I still do.
Even though
that video, it's not going to deter me from looking at their content.
Made a mistake, but
it's just.
You don't even have to own up to it.
Yeah,
Hodge twins.
It's just kind of irritating that.
Don't need a public apology. Don't need any. No.
Like, this kind of thing isn't exclusive to the left wing.
No.
It's not.
No,
so the right wing does it too.
It's not.
Whether they're making mistakes, they're doing it on purpose. I think the left probably does it on purpose quite a bit. But
yeah, let's just say the left just doesn't. Unfortunately, they just don't care.
Right.
They just don't care.
Yeah. And it makes money. So
which is the next one of the next things that I wanted to discuss. So, I mean, well, let me see if I find it, because I tried to. I mean, these guys. I mean, unfortunately, the left just sometimes they got their opinion on something, and once their mind is set on a particular topic, or the way something was, or the way something is, in their eyes, they stick to it without any regard for the truth. And it's insane to me, because Donald Trump went to Arlington
Mm-hmm.
to lay a wreath in the tomb of the unknown soldier, and to pay respects to the families that were affected during the Afghanistan withdrawal, and the 13 service members that died that day.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump was invited by the families to go to Section 60 and take pictures with them and pay his respects. As I have it understood, Joe Biden and the current administration was also an invite was also extended to them, but they did not go. The families, of course, were not happy, but they didn't. Not that they wanted them there, anyways.
Right.
As you guys recall from back in the day, when the dignified transfer was being done, the bodies of the 13 were being brought in at Dover. Joe Biden couldn't stop looking at his watch, and there was like a lot of disrespect being done. The families were just fucking furious. The disrespect from this administration towards those families has been such that even during the the State of the Union address, the father of one of those fallen actually had to be ejected from the crowd, because he came up and started yelling his son's name while Biden was talking. And it's been a very contemptuous thing. But Donald Trump was being attacked by the left. Even those that were invited and didn't go were saying that, it's just massive disrespect to take pictures and do campaign freaking stuff in Arlington Cemetery and this and that and the third. I was like, well, wrong.
Right.
Because John McCain did a video at Arlington for his campaign in 2000. And you guys are more than welcome to look at it. It's on YouTube. John McCain did a whole ad of him in Arlington. Did he rate? Yeah, I mean, he's a Vietnam vet and an aviator and all that, and he paid his dues, so I guess that one could slide. But there's been plenty of photography and stuff used on campaigns of presidents at Arlington, laying wreaths and meeting with families. That's not.
Yep.
That's not something that's strange. But the attacks were so vicious towards the veteran community. Not towards Donald Trump. Even some veteran organizations came out and spoke against it without really knowing the full details of what transpired that day or what was going on. Hell, there's a he said she said situation right now with the U.S. Army, because apparently some Arlington Cemetery staff was apparently pushed aside by a Trump staffer, and immediately, Trump staff assaults.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, assault staff at Arlington and and the Army put out this freaking this press release that they couldn't believe that the professionalism of their staff was being questioned and this and that and the third. I'm like, we gotta take the politics away from all these government organizations. They're here to serve the people, allegedly.
Yeah, it's very alleged.
You gotta take the bias out of it, because that's how you get these crazy, lunatic government employees that are making decisions solely based on their political biases, and it's not supposed to be like that. Like, you're not
In a perfect world.
Well, the perfect world. This is just like less than a decade ago.
Anything said by those agencies, anything said by like any of those staffers that like they're not in front of cameras all the time. They're not making statements to anybody at any time, really. They just work at a certain place. So whatever statement they make is given a lot of weight as far as truth. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and and not just the media, the general public.
Yeah.
So I mean, anything that the media puts out, whatever spin the media puts out on it, as long as they have, hey, this is just a random fucker that works at the cemetery said this, well, now it's got a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Because why would they say that unless it was true?
I mean, so the families that were there, I think it was most of the families that were there put out videos in response to the attacks on Donald Trump, paying respects to those fallen service members. It's a few minutes long, but I think that those Gold Star families deserve a listen. So here we go.
Good afternoon. My name's Herman Lopez. I'm a Gold Star father. My son, Corporal Hunter Lopez, was a U.S. Marine killed in action on August 26, 2021. This message is intended for Vice President Kamala Harris. I'm not a person who usually takes to social media, but earlier today, your post regarding the incident at Arlington National Cemetery was brought to my attention. After reading it, it caused a reaction with me. You indicated in your post that you support the military and military families. I, for one, have not seen that support. It's been 3 years since my son was killed in action, and myself, my family, and other Gold Star families have not seen any support from you or your administration. You may make hollow promises about the economy or anything else you'd like to make promises about. But one thing that I ask of you, and the reason I'm making this message, is for you to stop making comments about your support for the military. As a Gold Star father, I know that you have not supported us. I know that you have not supported other Gold Star families. Please stop making these types of comments, because that support has not been demonstrated. Your words are hollow and empty. My other request is that for the American public to know that these messages, these promises from Kamala Harris, especially in regard to supporting the military and our military families, are false and baseless. They have not been proven, and she has not earned our respect. Thank you very much.
Vice President Harris, my name is Christy Shamblin. My daughter-in-law, Sergeant Nicole Leanne G., was killed in the Afghanistan exit at Abbey Gate on August 26, 2021. This year, for the 3rd year anniversary of her murder, we welcome President Donald J. Trump to Arlington to lay a wreath on the tomb of the unknown soldier with our family and to visit Nicole graveside. President Trump and his team were respectful. They listened to our stories and didn't talk much at all. We welcomed them that day, and they were comfort to our family. Vice President Harris, I ask you, why won't you return a call and explain to us how you call my daughter-in-law's death a success? Vice President Harris, why will you not express your condolences yourself? Why have we never heard from you? And finally, why would you take a day where we celebrated the death of our loved one and use it to disparage not only them, but us? President Trump has called, President Trump shows up, and President Trump takes the time to hear our loved ones' stories. Why won't you do the same?
Kamala, your statement is nothing more than a political spin to help you look better in your presidential campaign against Donald Trump. You have never walked a single day in our shoes. Our kids were murdered because of your administration, and you are partly to blame for that as well. What happened at Arlington was President Trump was invited by those families who have their soldiers buried at Arlington. They were invited there as a friend, as somebody who has taken the time numerous times on numerous occasions to hear our stories, to speak our kids' names, and to help us get some accountability from your administration, because in over 3 years, we have gotten nothing but more and more lies. Just like your statement, more and more spun lies and cover-ups to make you and your administration look good. But there is one thing that you said in your statement that was true. No one should be running for president if they cannot honor military members, their families, as well as veterans. So I guess that means that you should step down, Kamala.
Vice President Harris, my name is Jim McCollum. I am the Gold Star father of United States Marine Corps Lance Corporal Riley McCollum, killed in Afghanistan, August 26, 2021. Your recent remarks related to Trump's visit to Arlington are filled with nothing but lies and deceit. How do you sleep at night knowing it was you, this administration, you and Biden, you being the last one in the room, are responsible for the death of our 13 kids? You have failed for 3 years and 8 months to acknowledge our kids, to acknowledge me. You don't know me. You've never spoken to me. You've never reached out to me. You have failed in your duties as vice president. You have been nothing but disrespectful to me and the families of the 13. Yet you're claiming that you will always be respectful and show respect for our fallen. You've been absent for 3 years and 8 months. You've proven that you're not capable to do the job that you have, let alone the job that you seek. You know nothing about honor, courage, commitment, respect, but President Trump does. President Trump has been there for us. He's been a rock for us. He showed compassion for us, and he showed he truly cares for the families that truly do know what the ultimate sacrifice really is. You have the day you deserve.
Vice President Harris, my name is Steve Nakui. I'm the father of Lance Corporal Kareem M. Nakui. And your administration killed my son, deliberately in exchange for political theatrics so you could have a final day of the evacuation coincide with September 11th. Ignoring the advice of your generals, the Doha Agreement, and countless other veterans and members of Congress. Denying the safety of the Afghans and the servicemen and women. Your choice to play politics in 2021 killed 170 Afghans, 13 U.S. service members, and wounded 45 of our service members, as well as countless Afghans. You were not at Dover for the dignified transfer. At no time have you reached out to me to offer your condolences, to offer thank you for Kareem's sacrifice and service. Not once have you honored him by saying his name, so I said it for you. You have disparaged all 13 who have lost their lives as well as their families, exhibiting your lack of gratitude by your silence. I agree with you on one thing, that a person like you should never and will never stand behind the seal of presidency. You are a DEI vice president, and contrary to our kids, the worst that America has to offer. I will pray for you, that God has mercy on your soul.
My name is Coro Dulero. I am Corporal Humberto Sanchez's mother. This is my statement of what happened on August 26, 2024. My son is not buried in Arlington, but I really feel like when President Trump went and paid tribute and paid his respect in Arlington for our kids, it was not just the ones buried in there. It was for all of our kids, and it was an invitation that the families actually extend to him, and it's not the first time that he actually meet with us and share time and with our families. After 3 years, until now. Like Kamala Harris and President Biden didn't even say their 13 names. They called the withdrawal in Afghanistan a success. And for us, it was just sadness and a disgrace. They are the responsible persons of murdering our kids. And until this day, they did not give us a meeting. They did not accept to meet with us and give us an explanation of what happened. Being him the commander-in-chief, he definitely left our kids behind and just to fill the agenda of his prior commitments. I invite Kamala Harris and Joe Biden to accept the meeting with us and meet with us and explain us what was the whole deal behind the withdrawal in Afghanistan. I think that as a parents, we deserve a explanation and we deserve the truth of what happened with our kids that day.
This is Mark Schmitz, Gold Star father of Marine Lance Corporal Jared Schmitz. Here we are on a beautiful holiday weekend day. I got to stop what I'm doing, spending time with what's left of my family, to address a heinous, vile, and disgusting post put out by Kamala Harris, trying to incite those that don't follow the truth that President Trump was in Arlington as a political stunt. Shows you how much you know about the 13 families. We invited him to be there. Groundwork was put into place by Congressman Ice's office to make sure we followed protocol. Why did we want Trump there? It wasn't to help his political campaign. We wanted a leader. That explains why you and Joe didn't get a call. Imagine for a second that your kid is killed, and there's a president of the United States willing to take you under his wing and listen to you. That's what we found in President Trump. Certainly not you, and certainly not Joe Biden. You have 13 families who have been waiting over 3 years to so much as get a phone call, to so much as hear our kids' names said aloud in the halls of Congress, at a State of the Union, hell, anything. The irony behind your post that you give a rat's ass about our military or our veterans, Jared's brothers and sisters in arms, the rest of the 12, their brothers and sisters in arms, is an outright lie. We're living proof of that. You're despicable. You have zero business running this country. And I pray to God, Americans, wake the hell up and get your ass out of office. You have spit in our face for the last fucking time.
My name is Darren Hoover, and I'm the Gold Star father of United States Marine Corps Staff Sergeant Taylor Hoover. Kamala, I want you to understand, and I know it will be difficult for you because you lack empathy and basic understanding. The events that happened on August 26, 2024, with President Trump at Arlington National Cemetery were solemn and in keeping with the reverence and respect that is given to all members of our military that are buried there. We invited President Trump. We are the ones that asked for the video and the pictures to be taken at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. This was a very solemn wreath laying in our son's name, along with the Sergeant Nicole G family as well as 2 of our catastrophically injured military members that were there on that horrific day in the honor of our Abbey Gate 13. We then moved to the gravesite where our children are buried. Again, we asked the Trump team to take the videos, take the pictures of our time there. President Trump then laid a wreath at the graveside of Army Staff Sergeant Ryan Christian Canals. There he talked to both his mother and father. President Trump then moved to our son's grave, where we were surrounded by our family and friends, where we talked about Taylor and his sacrifice to this country. Let me be clear. There was no politics discussed, none whatsoever. There was also not an assault that we observed take place, or did we hear it? I don't know where this is coming from, but it's disgusting and gross. President Trump has been there for us from the very beginning, when our son and the other 12 of his brothers and sisters in arms were murdered due to your negligence and uncaring attitude towards our military. Don't forget, Kamala, you were the last one in the room. You and Joe Biden made the final decision on how to pull out of Afghanistan. You created the chaos and mayhem for the military to accomplish their goals. Our sons and daughters made the best of a difficult situation, as they had been trained to do. They adapted and overcame all of that and came out as heroes, something that you will never know or understand. Kamala, we have been treated with the utmost respect, compassion, and understanding by President Trump, something you and Joe Biden have refused to do since August 26, 2021. Where were you and Joe Biden on August 26, 2024? Nowhere near Arlington Cemetery. You couldn't be bothered to be with us or even say our kids' names, just as you had done for the last 3 years. Neither one of you have called to speak with us or share in our grief. I wonder, Kamala, do you sleep at night securely in your bed? Or do you have nightmares of our kids because it was your incompetence and negligence that got our kids murdered? It is you who sends out messages on social media that are outright lies. It is you that has disrespected our families. It is you who knows nothing about service and sacrifice. It is you that has divided this country, and it is you who is unfit to be the commander-in-chief. These are the only memories we get to make with our son, and it is you who is playing politics and trying to detract from our memories made that day. You should be ashamed and embarrassed at your lack of empathy and decency as a human being. You are only in this for the power and prestige. You don't care for our military or the citizens of this country. You should hang your head in shame at your actions or lack thereof. You need to move aside, get out of the way, and stop hindering the progress, growth, and independence of this great nation.
Well, that clip, courtesy of Benny Johnson's podcast, he compiled a lot of the stuff, and if you guys want to take a look at, I'll put a link below, link to his channel. He's got a lot of good content, current and relevant, and it's if you guys don't follow him already, he's pretty neat. But yeah, I felt the need to launch the whole video. It's the least those families deserve from our veteran community, from our side, that their voices should be heard, especially after the Democratic Party goes after these families And they've already given everything that any family could give. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they gave one of their kids.
They gave their son's firstborn, whatever order they were born in, but some
It don't matter. They gave one of their kids.
It don't matter. They gave a child to the services nation, and unfortunately, it was that horrible administration that took charge of them. Horrible leadership and put them in a precarious situation, strictly based out of the need to make political statements and trying to appease foreign powers. Because let's not get it twisted. If anybody, some of the guys and some of the gals and people that are subscribed to this channel, what Kabul International Airport looks like. You've been there. Some of you've been there with me. That airport's not the place to do that kind of withdrawal. But it couldn't have been done anywhere else because we gave Bagram to the Chinese, because that's who's in Bagram right now. It's the Chinese military and the Chinese government who's running alongside with the Taliban in Bagram. But Daddy China told Sleepy Joe, kick rocks, and that's what he did. That withdrawal was so chaotic.
Yeah.
That not only did we just leave like there was a tsunami of volcanic lava coming down on us, but you had people falling out of the landing gear of aircraft.
Yeah. When people don't remember those videos, it was a bunch of Afghans crowding this. Was a C-5, right?
C-17s.
C-17s.
Yeah, C-17s.
Yeah. Jumping on the landing gear and falling off in mid-flight.
A couple of them being caught.
Jesus.
In the doors of the landing gear.
Yeah.
And having to be released. Body parts stuck onto the.
That's the thing. People would rather risk death trying to escape with the Americans than stick around for the Taliban.
Right, because
they know what's coming.
So one thing is for certain, and this other thing has about 60%. So you know what I mean? There's 60% chance that if you latch onto this landing gear, that you're gonna die, versus 100% if you stay on the ground.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
It's
yeah, exactly right.
It's insane. So not only that, but we left.
I changed the percentages though. So I got a 99% chance of dying. I grab on this gear, but 100% if I stick around for the Taliban. Right. But I mean, see, these guys weighed that though.
Irregardless, that's the decision. Yeah, it's kind of like we Americans. Unfortunately, the anniversary is coming up. We're in that same situation in 9/11.
Yeah. People weighed the thing. I got like a 99.99%
chance if I jump off this building.
Yeah, jumping off this building and dying, or 100% if I stick around for the fire.
Right, or if I get burned alive, or freaking get crushed.
Yep.
Whatever. Because nobody anticipated them towers falling, but
somebody did.
I'm sure somebody did. But that's
Tower 7.
Yeah, Tower 7. Yeah. Oh God.
Fell out of sympathy for Tower 1 and 2.
Yeah, it was a.
Yeah. So shit, I need to go to.
I was like, oh fuck, you guys are out of here. It's like Tower 7 was in the bathroom. Everybody left the party. I was like, hey, what's going on? Oh, you guys, it's over. Oh shit.
No.
So yeah, it's but yeah, you guys heard from the families. It's unfortunate that there's nothing. I try to be impartial, but we're getting to this point where it's impossible.
Well,
it's impossible to point out good things on the left. It's impossible. And yeah, there's two wings to the same bird, but
impartiality only goes so far. It's
right.
Like I try to
nothing's sacred to these people.
I try to be impartial to like any kind of like news that comes out. I try to be impartial to like things that people do. I'm not impartial to politicians. I'm against them.
Right.
It's that simple. I don't give a fuck what side they're on. And that was the other thing we were talking about too, with the what was his name? Fucking Dick Cheney.
Yeah,
Yeah, Dick Cheney now came out and endorsed Kamala.
Yeah, no surprise though.
Yeah, no surprise because what was I saying? This is the political system defending itself.
Yeah.
They are all on the same side.
Yeah.
They are all working together for their own pockets. They are enriching themselves off the best money source the world has ever devised, and that's the American people that pay taxes.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't always paid taxes. Look at the history books. We've been paying them for a little over 100 years. That's about it. This country's over 250, well not even doing that, over 200 years old.
Mm-hmm.
We've been paying taxes less than half that time. So, the best money siphon in the world, the American people who pay taxes. So, and these politicians are making themselves richer and richer and richer every time. People have been all over the internet saying this stuff. It's like, how in the fuck can a senator whose salary is $170,000 a year be in office for 5 years and come out with a wealth gross of about $15 million? They have other sources of income, obviously. So what are their other sources of income? They've proven Nancy Pelosi's doing insider trading, but nobody's doing shit about it. I mean, she constantly buys and sells companies that she knows damn well are about to take a big hit or a big.
There's a website. There's a website. That,
there's not only a website. There's an entire YouTube channel dedicated to it.
To her trading patterns. So
not just hers. Every senator's. Every congressman.
No, but it's done so you could trade like she trades.
Right. I think we're talking about the same guy. I think we're talking about the same guy. He has a YouTube channel where he goes over. I think he does like a post once a week, and he'll go over like the weekly news or whatever. But his website is like a daily update of what the trades are, who's trading what, where, when. You know,
and that's Paul Pelosi who's doing it. So,
yeah, it's Paul Pelosi doing it
because he is the broker.
Yeah.
So and that's what that was his profession.
Oh, he was a stockbroker.
Yeah. So it's also closeted homosexual, but that's neither here nor there. But
I don't care what he does.
That's why That's why him and his.
I don't care what set of genitals he likes.
That's why his illegal Canadian freaking prostitute was sitting in the house swapping freaking hammer hits.
What the fuck kink is that? I've got a concussion kink. Is that what that is?
Swapping hammer blows. All of a sudden body cam footage is going on.
Yeah.
Perimeter cameras don't work.
We use Pelosi as an example because she's the most obvious and she's the most
obvious,
reported
on.
But she is far from the only one.
They are legion.
They're almost nice. For we are many. Yeah, for real. But yeah, true enough. Well, it fits. They are, they're all doing the same thing. All of them. Doesn't matter what side they're on. Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green Party, Communist. It doesn't matter. If they are in the Congressional House, they are participating in insider trading. I don't give a shit who they are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. And this recent thing from Cheney just proves that point even more. If you didn't see it before, you can see it now. They are all on the same side.
Yeah.
Against you.
Yeah. Check
against
out,
us.
If you want. So it's not 100% accurate, but you get plus or minus a couple million. It's fairly close though. You could check Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's net worth.
Yeah.
And if you recall, not too long ago, she couldn't afford rent.
Yeah, she was a bartender.
Like when she was elected.
Yeah.
She made like national news because she was like, I want to be here. I can't afford an apartment in Washington.
Right.
And
the thing is, that used to be commonplace.
So when she said that made sense because their salary is not.
Yeah.
It's
not. A
lot of congressmen, senators, and Congress people, representatives, whatever the hell they are, a lot of them freaking they share some of these apartments. They go in on especially if they're from the same state, they'll go in on an apartment over there so they can have somewhere to freaking rest their head and not go through, not being at hotels all the time and whatever. So a lot of them share apartments. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez just, said the truth when she first got elected.
So anybody in Congress,
she couldn't afford it.
Their pay is capped at, it doesn't matter if they're a senator or a congressman.
Right.
Their pay is capped at $174,000. And they raise it every year.
Yes, which is fantastic if you live in Central Texas.
Right. If you don't live in D.C., that's
but
great.
If you live in D.C., that don't go very far. So it's
everything in D.C. is really, really high. Really high. And I remember what you were saying about congressmen sharing apartments and small apartments at that.
Yeah.
Because I remember reading about that when I was in college. Like these congressmen, they used to be commonplace. These people, because they're not from wealthy areas. They don't have businesses that make them like millions of dollars a year. They just simply do not have the kind of money that would support them in Washington, D.C., living there for year round. Yeah. They usually go to D.C., they'll afford flights out to D.C. for like a day or two or a week or two for votes or debates or whatever's on the floor that they have to be there for. So they would do that. They would go take flights to get a hotel and then come, because that was cheaper than trying to secure an apartment in D.C. And stay there for the duration of the session and be there the entire time.
Well, and the thing is that some states can't subsidize the apartment.
Right.
So
or won't.
There's a couple of states out there that'll subsidize an apartment, and they've had that apartment for representatives of their state or congressmen or senators or whatever of their state forever.
Yeah.
And they just kind of like the White House, that guy gets bounced out, the new one comes in, you trade the keys.
I think we've talked about this before. It's like they should make a complex for these people.
They should be in a secure compound.
Yeah.
Where they can have their debauchery, freaking, Satan worshiping and whatever, and burn their owl and whatever the hell they do, and freaking dress like druids and fucking, eat.
It's just LARPing, dude. They're Lord of the Rings fans.
Yeah, of course, clearly.
I don't know why you keep going down this rabbit hole.
Because that's what they are. That's what they, dude. Come on. You grab that freaking broadsword you got over there. You fucking cut one on.
It's not a broadsword.
Or whatever. It'll turn into fucking ash. Yeah, it's just bonkers, man. These people are freaking crazy. But they nothing's sacred, is what I'm getting at. These families lost their identity.
Damn it! I was going to make another joke, but all right.
What?
Nothing. No.
Was it shitty?
No.
I say it.
Well, they're with the ropes and shit. It's a prelude to the Adeptus Mechanicus.
Oh, the Adeptus Mechanicus. Oh yeah. Warhammer freaking 40K 2 came out. Space Marine 2 came out. We've been on this thing, so it's.
They all wear robes and shit.
Yeah, they wear cloaks too.
Yeah.
They serve zero purpose.
They run machines.
Bro, you imagine how much of a pain in
the
the ass.
They make sure the machine spirits.
Yeah,
they
you
satisfy.
try to drive an M1 Abram with a cloak.
No. You're getting caught in the turret every time.
Is that? Yeah, of course. Unless that thing had like some Velcro tiles where you could make like a little neck roll.
That would be bad, actually.
But that wouldn't be half bad. But just like
put it on the hatch and make a rain cover.
Dude, you could like. Yeah. But anyhow, these fuckers, man. Nothing sacred. Nothing. These families lost their entire identity.
Yeah.
Forever and ever. They're whatever they were. Will always be tied to what they are now, which is an incomplete family that lost a family member in combat.
Family. Yeah,
and the least that this nation could do, is just shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Kamala Harris, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Joe Biden, if you're not gonna call him. If you're not going to show up, if you're not going to say anything, you're not going to address them, fine. Shut the fuck up. That's all they want. They'd rather just have your silence than have you speaking against them. It's insane, man. Like, why put out a post?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you got something against freaking Donald Trump. I get it. You guys are adversaries. You guys are got it. Pick a different topic. There's plenty of material out there that you could pick at for Donald Trump to freaking make fun of him or freaking try to embarrass him. There's plenty. And there's other things that and if there isn't any, you just make it up because we know you have, they've been making up shit. They just indicted him again over some other nonsense.
You saw that they suspended his sentencing until after the election.
They did because it was scheduled for this month.
Yeah, the judge that's presiding over it suspended sentencing until after the election.
I mean, the Supreme Court fucking was like, hey, like, do you have to, like, put stuff in writing here? Like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
I mean, dude. So, you better win. I mean, either way. I mean, it's just, these people, man, I don't get it. We're still paying the Taliban money. I mean, we just lost $236 million the other day.
Yeah.
USAID put out a freaking a report, their last report, because they don't get held to the standards as everybody else. Their last report of where funds are going was from last year. And it just basically on the report itself, it just says how much money the Taliban are just stealing from them because they're not an armed entity. They can't defend the money. So when USAID gets funded, they receive funding to do humanitarian aid inside of Afghanistan. Taliban just shows up in a pickup truck and just fucking holds them at gunpoint, takes all their shit, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, so we've been funding the Taliban that way. To a point where it's complicit. Like, it's just like they get the money, they just give it to the Taliban. Kind of like in the same way we gave $6 billion to Iran to use for humanitarian aid.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what that did was open up $6 billion that they don't need to spend anymore in humanitarian aid and to fund Hamas, which
we got to make sure that war starts.
So yeah, it's the same thing. Ukraine is out there selling the weapons that we gave them.
Mm-hmm.
They're entering arms deals. What the fuck, man? Like what?
I was saying,
why are these idiots? They invade Russia only to fucking put their vehicles in park.
Yeah.
Inside of Kursk.
Yeah. I was looking forward to the videos on that, and there's been nothing so far. It's like, this is the second battle of Kursk. God damn it. Kursk is famous.
It was a shitty second battle of Kursk. They fucking
You know anything about the first battle of Kursk?
The first battle of Kursk was epic. Biggest tank battle in the history of
warfare.
Armor.
Yes.
History of warfare. And this was like, man.
It's massive.
Massive. What was it like?
Oh, don't get me looking up the numbers.
Dude, it was...
The Russians had a lot.
The Russians had
and so did the Germans.
I mean, it was over 150. I mean, it was massive.
You're gonna have me looking up the numbers.
Yeah. Because it was a massive clash. But these guys, they went into Kursk and then just started digging trench lines and
all right.
Like, dude, what are you doing? If you're gonna invade Russia, they'll just like stop at Kursk and just call it a fucking weekend.
So it was soldiers involved, 2 million, nearly 2 million for the Russians, and 780,000 for the Germans. Now this is 5,128 tanks for the Russians against 2,928 tanks for the Germans. That's fucking massive.
Mm-hmm.
Massive. That's a lot. And the Russians held the ground and beat back the Germans, but they took significant losses.
Well, yeah, because they didn't have any.
The T-34 is commonly known. Well, it's a common opinion that the T-34 is probably the best tank of World War II. And really, it was a damn good tank for the time that it was built because it had a lot of innovations.
Mm-hmm.
And it was able to be mass-produced very, very quickly. Mm-hmm. And it was going up against the Tiger for the German side, which was a fucking amazing, beautiful tank that had innovations of its own, but was not able to be mass-produced the way the T-34 was.
Yeah, partially made by Porsche, too. So
Totally made by slaves. So... But yeah, Porsche. If you know anything about Porsche had a lot of slaves back in the day. They were all Jewish, so there's some gypsies mixed in there. I don't know, but yeah. But I mean, Battle of Kursk, 1943 it's the largest armor engagement in history. It's a massive battle, lots of losses. I think each Tiger took out like 6 or 7 T-34s before it got taken out itself. The Tiger simply could not hold enough ammo to take on that many goddamn tanks, and that's what lost them that battle was the ammo capacity. Because the Tiger, to take a hit, it could take several hits, not that many goddamn hits. Eventually, you're just dead. T-34s will swarm you, get around you, and mobility kill you, and then kill your crew. So
that's insane amount
that turned out. I was looking forward to that footage. And there's been jack shit.
It's like an MRAP fucking walk.
There's a couple of drones that came out, but
there's like a video like an MRAP stuck on sand mode, just freaking with some pissed off driver.
Thing won't switch gears.
What the fuck? Yeah. Fucking punching buttons inside the freaking thing. That's about all we got out of there. And some trench line stuff. Another one was.
I've seen drone attack footage.
Yeah, a drone like wandered into a dining facility or something.
What the fuck, really? I haven't seen that
It was like a bunch of Russians like eating lunch or something. They're just like sitting there like, oh, you know, and then fucking, they're like, suka,
So I've seen that fucking meme going around now. It's like fucking like OEF and OEF veterans sitting in Ukraine. It's like, they fly now? They fucking fly now.
Bro, this is
I never dealt with no flying IEDs.
So
I've dealt with floating IEDs in the river, but nothing flying.
So the concept, we found out about it back in 2003.
Okay.
My unit, and those were with me, in my unit, we captured a dude who had hollowed out model airplanes, like motorized airplanes. Right. And that was the whole thing. And he had a blueprints and all this other stuff. The guy was a general in the Iraqi Air Force, and apparently he was heading a program that was trying to do explosive drones and stuff like that. And so we knew that the possibility of this happening would have been, back then. How prevalent and how the innovation that went into the modern drone technology nowadays, we could have never anticipated that. But like for sure, we knew that some of this stuff was possible back then. But this is a fire and forget freaking thing anyways. But you look at, model airplane, dude freaking with a tiny little engine and battery operated, and this is with his remote control. He's got no camera on it. You got to see the plane and actually look at it from the ground, and then crash it and hopefully detonate.
Hit your target.
Yeah. So it's the technology was like extremely rough. It was concepts, not even a beta. So,
but nowadays they're essentially TV guided bombs.
They're TV guided. Yeah, they're a TV guided bomb. It's they got FPV drones.
I was actually looking at, they're like $3,000. Yeah. The ones with the VR.
Yeah, with the first person view.
Yeah.
First person view drones, and that's what hit that chow hall thing. That I don't know if it was a chow hall, but there's a bunch of Russians just eating and shooting the bull, and they all look at the drone at the same time. It's like, I was like, oh, that
sucks.
That fucking sucks. You know how lonely combat would be nowadays? How spread out you gotta be?
Yeah, to avoid. Yeah,
bro, you say goodbye to your squad at the line of departure, because you ain't talking to nobody for a hot minute.
Right.
Because now it's just comms, and you by yourself, and your buddy would be like 15, 20 meters to your left or right, because you can't bunch up for shit.
Right.
These drones they're insane. There's a bunch of other technologies being developed that'll jam out these signals and stuff like that. Some of them that'll hijack the signal.
A lot of them are still in development, though. They're not being mass produced, and they're expensive.
There's a couple of videos out there, dude hitting the fucking drone with a damn baseball bat.
I've seen that. I've seen a bunch of people put out things like, you don't need to develop a jamming system or jamming gun for these fucking drones. Shotgun, birdshot.
Yeah, but the thing is that some of them are so fucking silent, bro.
True enough, and they fly high enough where you can't hear them.
Fly high enough, especially those ones that are dropping RKG freaking grenades. They're like way above you, man. They're looking at you. Oh, they're picking your nose. You're like, oh, you know, no big deal. You're like, oh, what is this? Oh, that's a winner. Like, you know, so. I mean, you're not hearing shit. They ain't like the drones they had in our old police department. That thing sounded like a fucking lawnmower.
Right. Yeah, it did too. God, it was loud.
I was like, God, turn that shit off. I'm gonna give away our position.
Anybody we tried to look at, it's like they put it on Facebook before we even do anything. Little fucking drones out here. Yeah, it's the cops.
Yeah, it's the cops. Yeah, that fucking Gen 1 freaking drone that you could have swore started with a yo-yo on a 2-cycle engine. Yeah. That shit was loud.
Yeah.
They're all sitting fucking prone in the woods trying to hide and get some footage. They're like,
Jesus Christ.
God. It's like somebody heated a fucking edge trimmer. Just dude, that thing, yeah, it's not like that no more.
No, yeah. A lot of them are quiet.
Very quiet. So it's, I mean, guard duty takes a whole nother fucking...
Yeah, shit. It's hard to defend against them damn things.
Dude.
They start doing night attacks. I haven't seen too many night footage of drones.
But it's coming because fucking FLIR technology is not far off.
Thermals, yeah.
Thermals and night vision is not far off, man. I mean, that's not
But it's pricey. And if you're using it as a suicide drone...
No, but I mean, you could definitely... use it as a spotter or whatever.
Or air attack, dropping ordnance. Yeah.
You know, it's a mess, man. It's a mess. And those new cluster munitions that are dropping out of the sky that we gave them, it's bro.
I saw that one drone footage of supposedly it's a drone that's going after I think it was a Havoc Russian attack helicopter, and fucking hit its propellers and took it down. It's like, whoo. That's a hell of a kill.
Yeah.
It's a big old price difference right there.
Yeah, $350 versus a couple million.
$1.5 million or something like that.
Million.
Plus 2 pilots.
Plus 2, in the man hours of training.
Yeah.
Dude, insane, man. All the technology is going into that. It's out of control. But I just don't like the fact that drones have turned warfare, which was already ugly, into an even uglier affair, because the vehicles look like ass now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, with all the bird cages around them and shit. Yeah.
They look like fucking to-go boxes, you know what I mean? Like a big lunch tray.
Yeah.
Like a big chicken box just going down the street. You know, it's like, fuck, man. Some of them tanks, they got to wear so much freaking crap on them, they can't even use their guns.
Yeah.
They turn them on into Stoogs. Because they
can't traverse.
They can't traverse.
Yeah.
They gotta traverse with their track as opposed to their turrets. Because the box they gotta put on top of them to at least keep the detonations away from vital components. It's insane. But they're gonna have to improve a hell of a lot. The new American tank is about to come out too.
Which one? I've seen 3.
It's still
the Booker.
It's still Model X, but it's supposed to be about 60 tons.
The Booker
with the autoloader. Yeah, it's still a Model X right now, but Task and Purpose did a whole video on them. It's about to roll out here in the next year or two. It's got a lot of tank crew reduced from 4 to 3. Auto-loading turret, and I don't know what the munitions capability is, but
I'll tell you.
The freaking
the Abrams X.
Abrams
that we're
X,
talking about.
Yeah.
I thought they were calling it the Booker.
So
but maybe I'm thinking about the airborne tank.
You know, that's the airborne tank, dude. The gun, the 50 above on top.
Yeah, it's on an RWS.
Yeah, that's been upgraded to a 30.
That's a big upgrade from 50 to 30.
Yeah. It's been upgraded to a 30. Buffers.
That's a lot of firepower.
Yeah, it's a lot. And there's a lot of...
So you essentially just put a Bradley gun on top of a tank.
So yeah.
Because the Bradley uses a 30 millimeter Bushmaster.
Correct.
And they're using a 30 millimeter Bofors.
Bofors. Apparently it's Bofors.
The difference is Bofors is designed for anti-air, which the Bushmaster is designed for direct fire.
Yeah, it's an enormous gun.
Yeah, it's a big fucking... Either way, it's a big fucking gun.
It's a big fucking gun. However, the crew's smaller.
I'm trying to look up fucking
and then
specs.
Weight reduction to about 60 tons.
Yeah, I found that already.
And then all the real-time visual aids and stuff like that. So kind of like...
All three crew are located in the hull, so it's a crewless turret.
It's crewless turret.
That's been a point of contention with a lot of people, though, because the Armada is supposed to be like that, too, the Russian tank. 120 millimeter main gun with an autoloader.
Apparently,
so it's still the same size as the...
Apparently, it has to be crewless because the magazine's got some tricks with the blast wall, like anti-blast or whatever, where the turret can be freaking frying pan off the fucking thing.
Fuck off. It can turret pop?
It could turret pop, and the crew still should be...
Okay.
I mean...
Sure.
Connected.
Sure.
Disability connected. Yeah,
100%. Yeah, you're not getting that.
Yeah, 100% disabled.
Yeah, no,
However,
you're not getting that. It's 20%.
No, it's 20%. 20%, yeah.
Not service connected.
It'll be 100% to us. It'll be a 40 in VA math.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently...
Hybrid power pack that includes an advanced Cummins diesel engine and electric battery. So it's a hybrid.
It's a hybrid.
Okay. 60 tons, yeah, which it's not... Doesn't weigh that much less than the Abrams.
Nah.
The Abrams is 71 tons.
Right.
Fuel efficiency.
But you
50% more fuel efficient than the Kerbert Abrams diesel
But
design.
you can't put deck... But you can't... The thing is that... So, the thing is that you get a M1A1.
Mm-hmm.
71 tons off the fucking assembly line.
Mm-hmm.
Then you put Tusk package. Then you put...
But the Tusk package hasn't been used in about 10 years.
But then you start putting all the M1A2, M1A3.
Oh, you're talking about the SEPS V3
you start
package
the SEPS V3, SEPS V4, and whatever the fuck it is now.
Yeah,
like up to V.
That's why I said SEPS V3, because I know the SEPS V3 is out.
So,
I don't know about anything else.
So all of that, now that tank is no longer 71 tons. Now it's fucking way more than that now. With that 60-ton tank, you got a 11-ton wiggle room because it's the same road wheels, same suspension, same all that as the freaking Abrams. All that remains the same. What changes is transmission, engine, and the components that make it move forward and backwards and all that, So the drivetrain is different, but the suspension and all the chassis, that shit's pretty much the same.
Well, suspension is. The chassis is.
Yeah, the suspension is the same. So you got a suspension that can withstand well over 71 tons on a 60-ton tank.
I'm looking at it right now. They're still using the same road wheels. It looks like it's still using the same kind of track, which is a specifically designed track for that heavy of a vehicle.
Right, which is where it's going. So that 60-ton tank in about 7 years' time is going to be 72, 73 tons.
I have no doubt, yeah.
So that tank's going to be around.
It says it's AI enabled too.
Yes.
Skynet. Fuel efficient hybrid electric main battle tank armed with the dual 360 thermal sights. Nothing's like okay. Recent unveiled with General Dynamics land systems, of course, because they hold the contract forever. Yeah, that's the thing. You always see these like display models before any like unit models or combat models come out, and a whole bunch of shit's shredded off of them because what we have a lot of on top of the tank, more than pretty much any other like direct line front line combat vehicle, storage.
Yeah, I mean, so
we have 2 sponson boxes and a bustle rack.
Boxes, bustles, but
you don't see any of that on this fucking tank, and you will.
That's what I'm getting at. So unless they're coming, so that model that you're looking at, that's the
it's a display model. It's a sales model.
It's a sales model. But once that thing rolls out, once it passes ORS, and the units get it. And whatever it's gonna be like, fuck, give me the damn torch. We're gonna fucking
yes.
We gotta weld some
the
shit
torch, the hacksaw, because we did.
I mean, shit. I mean, we've helped them. We have tank crews fucking help. We've helped them with shit. So it's
We've had stuff.
They live.
We've cut stuff off of our tank.
So that's their house.
Yeah. If we go into combat, when we went into combat, we cut stuff off of our tank, and then later on, we had stuff welded to our tank.
Well, Well, when I went in our there was no fobs.
Not to the tank directly. So
there was no fobs, so that was that's their house, So when we were co-located with tanks, that's their home. So they modified it however it met the whatever operational requirements. And then for a while it was fine when they could hang the rucksacks off the skirts and everything was good to go. But then the Iraqis started stealing everybody's shit, and then they fucking brought them up from the skirts, put them on the sponsons, but the sponsons can only hold just so many. And
well, see, that's the thing. That tells me that unit was nowhere near Korea, because we learned that lesson a long time, because we have slicky boys that'll come into our wires and cut our bags and steal all our shit, and then we find it in the TA-50 alley outside of fucking
Tokeria or whatever,
outside of Camp Casey and Dongducheong. TA-50 alley is like 1 street over from the front entrance.
That's funny. No, but I mean, it's one of those things like the requirements changed as the operations moved, so. But the technology that's going to be incorporated in this new battle tank is it's insane.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like the tech is seriously.
Hopefully, some of that. The thing is that I don't know. I'm not privy to how they test these things, but hopefully that tech can withstand getting fucking smacked around. Because
they're gonna find out. Because usually tanks like that, any kind of armored vehicle is tested up in Washington. Right. So Washington State, Fort Lewis.
Okay. Joint Base Lewis McChord.
Yeah, Joint Base Lewis McChord, because it's a huge like testing. They do a lot of testing pre-purchase at what's that place called? Proving Grounds, Aberdeen. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
They do a lot of pre-purchase testing at Aberdeen Proving Grounds. They did it with the MRAPs before they bought them. All the models of the MRAP. They did it with the Bradley. They tested the Bradley Hero Fort Hood and at Aberdeen Proving Grounds. But a lot of the tank stuff, the heavy armor, a lot of that gets tested in Fort Lewis, and they try to break them. They do try to break them.
Yeah, because they have those new headsets, the ones I was telling you about, where they wear their headset and it has augmented. I wouldn't say augmented reality, but they can see outside their tank because of the VR fucking shit.
Yeah.
So the cameras are linked into the CBC.
That'd be cool.
And so if you're sitting
so it's slave to the helmet like an Apache.
To the helmet like an Apache. Yeah. So if you're the 30 mic operator, you're the gunner on the Apache, and you're looking down and your gun's moving with you, this necessarily doesn't operate the gun, but if you're the driver, you have full
360 view wherever you turn your head.
And if you're,
I wonder if you look over your shoulder and
you could probably like have reverse cameras where you can like touch or whatever.
Very cool.
And then you can see behind you. I'm pretty sure they got fucking high speed shit like that. But what that does is that
it's a lot of systems that can fail.
There's a lot of systems that can fail, but you know how they're gonna fail is because they're gonna reduce the number of infantry that is going out with these tanks, because tank crews can now look up. And
well, they might increase it because now the tank has more visibility. That means that the infantry is safer.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, but you know that's not going to go that way. They're going to regress until it gets a bunch of people killed, and then they'll be like, "Oh no, well, we went the wrong way." I was like, "Yeah, you went the wrong way. We know you went the wrong way." But then, thanks for not asking.
Yeah, don't ask the troops they're going to use the troops.
No, it's just like whatever. So they're going to be like, "Oh, the tankers can see up? Oh, fuck yeah! Then I don't need my battalion down there." Because everybody wants to be special. So
see, that's the thing. And if you're listening to this podcast, Hesco is absolutely correct about tanks not being able to look up.
Yeah.
We can't, because none of our periscopes look up, and our cannon can't go up that far, so we can't see directly above us. Not a chance. If we're buttoned up, can't see a damn thing directly above you.
No, which is funny and ironic, because the tank was developed to protect the infantry, and now the infantry is not necessarily protecting the tank, but is watching for the tank for those unforeseen freaking
aerial
circumstances that the tank cannot defend itself, like freaking get anti-tank infantry at an elevated position, and
or helicopters,
or some other stuff. Because the inside of a tank, if you ever get the privilege to be inside of one of them freaking things, for one, the noise is deafening. It's
hearing tinnitus right now.
It's a continuous whining of when it's on. Yeah, like and it's on like.
And that's not the engine.
That's not the engine.
That's the hydraulics.
Yes, it's the hydraulics that are constantly fucking on pressure.
Yep.
Going, and so that's going on. And then you put on your CVC helmet. You put on your and you think that goes away. It reduces it a little bit. You're still hearing it, but then you got all the other shit that's going on with the comms, the internal comms, and then comms and battalion net, whatever the fuck is being ran. So you don't hear anything that's going on outside.
For most tanks, it's just platoon net, thankfully.
So you don't hear shit that's going on outside. It's so you got no ears. So put that out of the. So now you can't hear anything other than what's being discussed within your platoon, and your eyes are basically 10-2 to your 10-2. Unless you rotate turret to look at that vertical 10-2, and that's all you get. So it's a pain in the ass. This tank apparently improves greatly in a lot of that. But how it's going to hold up with all this new drone technology, they have a lot of detection systems that are even alien to me. Because even though I've worked a lot with a lot of cutting edge tech and stuff like that, some of the detection of this stuff was for detecting small arms fire munitions. So like systems like your boomerang and stuff like that is being used in urban cities nowadays. Shots fired in the old one was just a circle board with it's like a clock face, and then you'd get a dot, and they're like, oh, the 3 o'clock, and then you get, because it detected you would have microphones outside, like in a star pattern, outside of your vehicle, that would listen in, and through sound it would give you a general direction of where shots are coming from. Then it just became a little bit more advanced. This thing apparently has technology that's almost like ground surveillance radar. So
fucking if it works.
So,
that's the thing about a lot of this shit. There was a lot of shit on the XM1, which was the experimental Abrams back in the 80s.
So 70s. you need a bachelor's in computer science to be a tanker now, because it's no longer a tank; it's a fucking mech that requires a fucking degree.
Requires 3 pilots.
And if you're going to be in command of that damn thing, you better have your master's. It's just like, don't make fun of military guys. They're not as dumb as you think they are. They pretend to be dumb, but a lot of freaking military folks are handling some tech that you could never even fathom freaking putting your hands on, and the technicality and the delicate nature of that tech is amazing. So it's crazy. That new tank is bonkers. I recommend that video from Task and Purpose. Yeah. The Average Infantryman's his name, dude. The dude freaking puts out that video. It's gorgeous. It's a very well made video. Talks a lot about it. A lot of the features and stuff like that.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see once the military purchases the damn thing. Yeah. If they have purchased it, great. They haven't gotten any units yet. Not that I've noticed. Not that anybody's talked about online yet. And I'm connected to a lot of tank communities. So, I mean, they would have posted something by now if somebody had it in their unit.
Well,
but, I mean, once you get it in your unit, that's one thing. People are going to start fucking with it and see what makes it tick and how to work with it and what works, what doesn't work. That happens with every piece of military equipment. And then you're going to see the first fielding. Mm-hmm. So once it goes into the field, more shit's going to happen. And then once it goes into combat, even more things.
They're going to bring them up here to Fort Hood and freaking...
test them in the field. Most of it's going to go on...
Here you go, boys, break it.
Yeah, it's going to go on in in Washington, and I remember those tests that happened in Washington is why the Stryker was not widely distributed to armor units, because the Stryker failed those tests. When they had the heavy cannon on one of the Strykers, now most Strykers you see.
105, bro.
No. Wait, let me get to it. So you had like 3 different types of like frontline combat Strykers. The unarmed one, which could be used as a transport or medical or whatever the fuck. You had one of them with a 30 millimeter Bushmaster, same gun as the Bradley, and then you had one that had a 120 millimeter cannon on it. So it had a 120 millimeter cannon on it, but when they were testing it out there, they tried to fire that bitch broadside. So they put it directly over the side, and it tipped the Stryker. It completely tipped it. So they had to get a wrecker in there and put it back on its wheels, all that shit. So then once they did that test, they downgraded it from 120 millimeter to 105 millimeter, and it worked. You still shake the shit out of that damn Stryker every time it fires. So I mean, you're not going to be able to do follow-up shots very easily because you have to reset everything and then fucking go back and acquire a target. Anyway, all the guys that I knew that were 19 kilos, they were tankers in the Army, and they were assigned to a unit that ended up becoming a Stryker unit, fucking that operated in Strykers, said that they got out of armor. They transferred MOSs because of that. Because the Strykers were taking like hits that Humvees with Frag 5 kits, those Humvees were surviving those IED hits where the Stryker was being destroyed.
Yeah.
So the armor was garbage. Whatever the fuck they did to it, however the hell they built it, the armor was shit compared to an explosion. And it was supposed to be able to tank pretty much everything that at least a Bradley could take.
V-hull.
Right. It was supposedly a well-designed vehicle, but apparently not well built. So a lot of the guys that I knew that I went to basic training with, they're all 19 kilos. They trained the same way I did. I went to a tank unit, luckily. And they went to a tank unit that ended up becoming a Stryker unit. And they got out of armor or got out of the Army completely because the Strykers were being destroyed and their friends were being killed.
Well, yeah.
So, I mean,
fucking that vehicle. Give it to Ukrainians.
Yeah.
They can drive that shit now.
Might as well.
Let's take a break. We'll come back and discuss some of the rest of the stuff that we got planned. We're gonna go take a break. I gotta hit the head. Segue into the next thing. It's a rough day for Alexa.
Bro, that fucking video.
Yeah.
Do you have it pulled up?
I have it here. It's this one.
Alexa, why should I vote for Donald Trump?
I cannot provide content that promotes a specific political party or a specific candidate.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
While there are many reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, the most significant may be that she is a strong candidate with a proven track record of accomplishment. As the first female vice president, Harris has already broken down a major gender barrier, and her career in politics has been characterized by a commitment to progressive ideals and a focus on helping disenfranchised communities.
Yeah. Pretty obvious, the bias.
Yeah.
So the bias is also obvious on ChatGPT. So when I put this in there, you might think it's kind of given a similar response. So it starts off with this one was, why should I vote for Harris? Supporting a candidate like Kamala Harris can depend on various factors, including her policy positions, experience, and vision for the future. Here are some reasons why someone might consider voting for her. That's the initial paragraph. The one for Trump, deciding whether to vote for any candidate, including Donald Trump, depends on your personal values, priorities, and beliefs about what direction the country should take. Here are some reasons people might choose to vote for Trump. Now, just take it on that face. There's bias just in that paragraph, but I mean, might not be that obvious to some people. You'd have to get the obvious bias after reading exactly what was said by ChatGPT, and I'm not going to read the whole damn thing. But under Harris's one, it says experience and leadership, and it starts off Harris has. Advocacy for justice and equality, she has. Focus on healthcare, Harris supports. Climate action, she emphasizes. Support for working families, Harris has advocated. You get where it's going? It's talking about what she does, what she has done, fucking directly about her, right? You take a look at the one for Trump. So, first one is economic policies. Supporters often point. Immigration stance, many voters support. Foreign policy, some appreciate. Judicial appointments, Trump appointed 3 Supreme Court justices. Yeah, which is a fact. America First agenda. His America First agenda resonates with voters who, populist appeal, many of his supporters, social issues, for those who prioritize conservative values. See the difference?
Yeah.
It's a huge difference. It's nothing about Trump. It's about his supporters and people who do support him, but not about Trump's achievements. Not about what Trump has done. Not about the decisions Trump has made. There's nothing about foreign policy in there. The huge strides he made in foreign policy. Huge. Huge.
Huge.
Huge. But yeah, huge bias in Chat GPTs. Same question I get both. Why should I vote for Trump and why should I vote for Harris? Very different answers. Harris is all about her. Trump, it's all about the people who support Trump.
Yeah, this is I mean, there's no surprise there.
No, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, all these AI things are run by billionaires and billionaire companies.
You know,
I can't do Grok because I don't pay for Twitter. So,
and then
wait, don't we pay for Twitter on our show?
We did. I think I let it lapse or something.
Did you let it lapse?
I think so. Yeah, but I just I don't know, man. It's like it's almost going to take more government controls to.
That's what we don't want.
And that's exactly what we don't want. I don't know. It's an ironic thing because you would like a bill to get put forward to level the freaking playing field here, and at the same time, it's the government interference is kind of goes against our core beliefs, and but that's what they're doing. I mean, it's just it's really up to the individual to sift through this, navigate this crazy sea of bias in the news. We're not sponsored by anybody, but occasionally we make shout outs, to people.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm wearing my Warrior camo shirt. I'll put links to that on there.
I still typically wear,
Zero Foxtrot, or, made a little shout out to the Hodges twins, with my little wristband here that I wear. They made. But when I look at the news, I go through ground news, because ground news shows you the news article and exactly what's who's covering it and who's giving it more credence, whether it's 50% or whether it's 60% left leaning, or whether the coverage is straight up and down the middle. So on and so forth, and it's sad that that's what we have to lean on nowadays to see through the BS, because both sides freaking do their own thing, when it comes to what they want to freaking promote. But here lately, like, there's been another mass shooting that's getting coverage in Kentucky this time. It's an active shooter situation, I guess, on I-75 in Kentucky, with at least 5 people shot, and the suspect is at large still.
Somewhere right now?
Mm-hmm. Then of course the Georgia shooting the other day, the active shooter in that school in Georgia. I guess the father of the shooter has been arrested and charged with I think 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter,
second-degree murder.
Yeah, and some other some other crimes because I guess he got his. Funny enough, the kid was on the FBI's radar already.
You don't say.
He had been interviewed, family been interviewed. They addressed the issue of the guns in the house. People throw dirt on the FBI and all that, but I was like, oh, the FBI knew and this and that. And I was like, yeah, I get it, but you got to realize that they're not precogs. You know what I mean? It's not they can only move in accordance to to what they got in front of them. So whoever went out there has to make a determination whether this kid is a danger to himself or others. And there's a lot of milestones that have to be crossed before you can actually take somebody's rights away. I know the FBI hasn't looked at those milestones in other situations, and they've kind of been looked in a bad light for a lot of things, but in this particular situation, it's kind of like you can almost see almost like an implicit ignorance, to this kind of shit. Because almost every other shooter or every other person that's been involved in an active shooting has been in their radar to some extent. Nothing been done about it, and then they freaking detonate, They go postal and freaking go murder people. But there's the father of Georgia school shooting, second-degree murder, Colin Gray, faces 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, 2 counts of second-degree murder, 8 counts of cruelty to children, according to Georgia Bureau of Investigations. He allowed his son to possess a weapon. Colt Gray was the shooter. Allegedly killed 2 teachers. No, allegedly he killed 2 teachers and 2 students.
They have to say allegedly for legal reasons. Yeah.
At Appalachia High School in Winder, Georgia, using an AR-15 style weapon. You're gonna see the coverage of all these shootings. Happen because clearly the left wants they're doing a heavy push to ban certain guns and and put in these alleged common sense legislations and all this other stuff. So you're going to see a lot of increase in coverage when it comes to this kind of stuff. One thing they're not covering, and they did not cover this at all, just not too long ago during the 4th of July weekend, there was over 114 freaking people shot in the city of Chicago. I mean, you didn't hear anything about that.
Nope.
It's a blue city, blue governor. So they're not gonna, and most of these shootings, if not all of them, were involving black people. So it goes against the narrative. So you're not gonna hear all this stuff, and it's a sad thing that happens, but we're not addressing the root cause of this stuff, which is mental health. It's
never will address it because there is a solution to it, but the solution has de facto been outlawed. So back in for probably up until the early 90s, about 120 years preceding that, there were asylums that you put crazy people in. Now, those asylums were abused because they weren't just putting crazy people in there, they were putting retarded people in there. They were putting pregnant, unwed women in there at certain points. They were putting just undesirable people in there, people who didn't contribute. Families would sign whatever paperwork they needed to sign to have their kid committed because their kid was lazy. So, I mean, the asylums were being abused by the people that ran them, by the people who had family members that were patients in there, all that. That and the asylum employees were abusing the patients. So, unfortunately, the asylums were all shut down. And now, who deals with the crazies?
Cops on the street. Cops on the street. So,
severe mental health issues, non-medicated, or gone undiagnosed, or whatever. But even in crisis, suicidal, whatever, people don't want to put a gun in their own mouth. They want cops to kill them. They'll do suicide by cop or try to. And cops have to deal with all that. Some random naked fucker running around in the streets. Yeah, cops.
Yeah.
Some guy talking to random like wall paintings. Cops. Yeah, I mean anybody that's off their fucking rocker for one reason, whatever reason, police. So now the police deal with all these psychos who see demons everywhere, and now they see demons wearing uniforms and badges, and they attack the demons, and they get shot, and the police get blamed because they didn't use whatever method that some fucker on Twitter wants them to use to not kill this person when they have a knife and they're trying to kill a demon.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah, it's one of those. I mean,
it's a lose-lose situation for everybody involved. So I mean, the asylums have been outlawed. They've been discontinued. They're not being used anymore. Cops have to deal with it a lot. There are very, very, very few resources in any state. I mean, I know the resources in Texas. There ain't that many of state-ran hospitals.
No, they're getting less and less.
Yeah, they're getting less and less.
So I think a lot of that stuff, is done on purpose. Less funding for mental health is done on purpose because I think there's a want for these people to go ape nuts and have.
You think so?
I think so. I think you look around, Central Texas and stuff like that. A lot of these these divisions that used to handle mental health are getting less and less and less and less.
That's true.
Did the money dry up in grants?
Yes, some of it.
Did what happened here? It's just a lot of these divisions that used to handle this exclusively as a call for service are no longer around.
The local municipalities and counties don't want to foot the bill. So once the grant money dries up, so does that team.
So does that team. Yeah, they go away.
They go to patrol.
Another thing that's happening is that local hospitals are being burdened with the housing of some of these people.
All the time.
They lack the bed space and the training to hold on to these people. So so a person going through a manic episode may feel fine in between his manic episode or her manic episode. Fine enough to clearly articulate to you, there ain't shit going on and everything's fine now. That's part of the trauma, you're up and down, so they may snap out of it for a brief minute and be like, hey, that's why you need them in observation. But the moment they slap out of it, they start rationalizing it. If they're not there on an emergency detention order or something like that, and even sometimes if they are, once they seem to be fine and answering questions, they release them. A lot of them fall back into that mania and wander into traffic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, we've seen so much of this stuff happening, and a lot of that stuff also puts undue stress on a regular patrolman, that's on the street trying to, fight crime or whatever he's trying to do. You run into a guy that's freaking beating the crap out of a building with his bare fists, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
It's like, what? This is going to be a long one because he's already fighting. He's just not fighting you. He's fighting a building. So he's doing karate chops on a freaking solid structure made out of rock. And you're like, well, it stands to reason that I'm probably going to end up fighting this guy.
Yeah.
So, but you can't turn away from it. You got to face that head on. And walking into a situation like that, you are potentially walking into a situation where you're going to lose your livelihood first and foremost, and then possibly your health, or you may have to do something unthinkable, to this other person just to protect yourself. So you may end up losing your freedom, and you're weighing these things inside your patrol car as you're seeing this person do karate on a solid structure. You're like, all these things that I mentioned could happen. It could be C, all of the above.
Yep.
And you're like, but I got to do it anyways. I can't just because if a civilian drives by this thing and sees this stuff, you're going anyways. Whether you like it or not, you're gonna go and deal with this dude, whether you like it or not. Because somebody sees it and calls, you got to go, and you can't let a civilian interact with these people. They're not prepared for it. So you have to take the hit It's unfair. Such is life. So here goes Hesco. Here we go. Hey, man.
And that right there is why why Texas made it mandatory for mental health training.
Yeah, it's like, hey, man,
So
what you
every
doing?
police officer in Texas has to go, what is it, 40 hours?
41.
Is it 41 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And some go through the extra 36 hours for mental health peace officer certification.
Right.
So
Well, 40 hours for that, and then
it's 36.
40,
It went down.
It
Yeah.
went down. Okay.
Yep.
So it's a man. I've been there.
Yeah.
And
I know cadets nowadays, they get like the 40 or 41 hours in basic BPOC. Yeah.
In basic they get it, but it's like, man, here we go. This is going to be spicy.
Yeah, I don't know if this dude's just going to jump in my, because I've seen all the gambit with dealing with crazies. I've seen people going through a manic episode, doing whatever they're doing, and as soon as they see a police officer, they approach the officer. But the officer's kind of slick; they'll just open their door to their cruiser, and I've seen them jump right in.
Oh yeah, I had a guy in the back of my freaking patrol car that's how he had a big ass piece of canned ham. Yeah. So Farmer went out on him, and when and he called me, and I was back then I was mental health. I was exclusively dealing with this. So Farmer gave me a call. He was on patrol, and he's like, "Hey man, dude, he encountered this dude upside down on one of those back stretching things, wearing goggles and welding gloves. Like it was just like he was on another planet." And he was talking about how his oxygen levels in his in his suit had gone down so much that he was trying to oxygenate himself, and he basically was pretending to be a person inside of a meat robot, and he wanted to know if the hospital that I was taking him to had enough antimatter shielding between him and the doctors, because he didn't want to contaminate his suit, because otherwise he would have to eject. And his biggest thing was, can I continue to eat this ham? And this enormous ball of meat that he'd been chewing on. I was like, yeah, go right ahead, man. And he just opened the door and fucking hopped in there. I looked at Farmer, I was like, what the fuck? He's like, I know. I closed the door and off we went to the hospital, and he showed up with his freaking big ass block of ham and sat in the corner, and yeah, it's weird, man. I mean, this stuff happens, so we're the ones dealing with it in the
Poor
street.
Farmer. I abused him once on a call because he was mental health, and I was just a regular patrol deputy.
Yeah.
And we were dealing with your favorite girls.
Oh yeah.
So dealing with that, and the younger girl had left the property, and the older girl didn't know where she was, so we went out there and just asked, what was she wearing last, the standard stuff.
Yeah.
And then coming out of that long driveway, here she comes walking down the driveway, and I get out and step out. I was like, hey, you okay? She's looking for you. You all right? Everything cool? She's like, I can't remember Obama's name. Like, it's Obama. What? And she started like ranting. That was the thing that stuck in my head. That was the first thing she said. So I can't remember Obama's name. And she ranted on, and then she kept saying, I can't remember Obama's name. Okay. I said, hey, Farmer, it's for you. I'm out. And I just left him. She's not a threat. She's off a rocket, bro. Here you go.
Yeah, man, it's just crazy, man. It literally crazy. Some of the what was even more bonkers is dealing with somebody that you've dealt with before, just on a normal interaction. Like, you saw him at 7-Eleven, talked to him and whatever, and everything was fine. It's perfect, fine, nothing wrong with him. And you see this person in town, interact with them, everything's fine. Then you get a call for service at their house, and they're completely off their mind.
Yep, because they're off their meds.
And you're like, oh no, like this is not
Yeah.
Like, it's like hard to associate the person you know with whatever the hell you're looking at now.
Yeah.
And it's like, "Yeesh, this is, wow, bro, a lot's happened since I last talked to you, you know. And, you know, it's like, I got to sell these paintings, you know, and it's just like, I mean, I got the Prince of Saudi Arabia is going to, host me, and I'm going over there to sell these paintings. And, yeah. Well, go ahead, let me take you to the airport, man. You know, I was like, you get out of your car, don't step there, there's fire. And you're like, what? Like, so it's just, I mean, all this stuff is being dealt with by law enforcement on the ground.
Yeah. And a lot of times it's not their regular job.
It's not their regular job.
They're trained on it a little bit, but it's not what they practice on a daily basis.
And it's and none of it's being addressed at a national level. So then you wonder why, you know, there's a couple reasons why there's an increase in mass shootings. One is that I just told you. The other one is social media and proliferation of information. Everything is so ready available. You know, everybody's got a potential news filming device in their pocket.
Mm-hmm.
At any point in time, anybody could be a reporter. You know, it's I mean, not everybody could be a good one, but everybody can report something right from their pocket at high definition, 4K freaking video of some guy losing their losing their mind, or somebody not acting right, you know, or police mishandling something. You know, it's ready available for everybody to see. So, you know, there's videos from inside the school in Georgia, you know, of some of the students, you know, which is why some of the schools here in Central Texas are starting to go to these Faraday pouches.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I went to the Comedy Mothership in Austin a while back with my family, and went to watch a couple open mics and stuff like that. And they made us put our phones in these Faraday bags. They have this magnetic lock on them and whatever. And before you leave, they unlock them, kind of like getting that sensor out of a pair of pants at a store, you know. So a lot of schools are going to that now in Central Texas, where your kid goes to school, puts the phone in the Faraday bag, and if you want that phone back, you're gonna have to unlock the bag, because that keeps the kids off the tablet and off the phones for the time they're supposed to be studying, you know, or learning something allegedly. You know, it's at least the schools that are real serious about turning the corner in education are trying to do this stuff, you know, try to make sure the kids are focused on what's being taught in the schools. I mean, but, you know, we took church out of the schools. We took, you know, we took a lot of the moral compasses out of the school. And if the parents aren't giving the kids that at school and at home, if they're not getting that at home, they're not getting it from anywhere. And all they get is their external inputs from social media, music, video games, whatever they got that tells them that this is an acceptable form of behavior. And you know, if you don't have the parents there to tell them, yeah, this is fun, however, it's not real life, you got to, this is not how business is done. You know, if you don't have that, and a lot of places won't have that, a lot of families won't have that, both parents are working, you know, all this stuff, you know, with the economy the way it is, a lot of families that would normally have a mom at home or a dad at home, they can't afford it. They gotta go out and produce, you know. So there's many different factors that contribute to the decline. You know, a lot of the things that RFK was talking about with chemicals in the food and water and all these mind-altering freaking things that are in our everyday consumables, you know, and BPAs and all this other. I mean, it's just like, you can go on for days with all this stuff. Like,
and that's the thing. Like, what's harmful to you or not is a lot of people. Shit nowadays is up to like opinion because people don't trust any of the sources anymore. Like usually that would be up to like, you know, the FDA.
Right.
The FDA would come out and say, hey, this shit's bad for you. Okay, FDA, you're the professionals at that shit. But now the FDA has lied to us about so much shit
Yeah, but it's just crazy.
That's no longer a trusted source.
A lot of the things that are legal.
This video's going to get taken down because of what it just fucking said.
Well, I mean, it's not. We're not issuing any medical advice. We're just acknowledging what's out there. YouTube may take it down, but I mean, it doesn't make it not so. I mean, YouTube can do whatever YouTube does.
Still got Rumble.
That's fine. We still got Rumble. We'll put it on Rumble. We'll put it on Facebook. We'll put it on the other media apps. Yeah. I mean, it regardless, this is what we're hearing and what we're seeing. We're not giving advice one way or the other. I mean, to put it mildly, I've made some major dietary changes in the last few months. To prevent certain conditions that could be around the corner for me, and it's been incredibly difficult to find some of these items at a decent price. You know, some daily food stuff that some of the chemicals and some of the things that are included on our daily consumables are illegal overseas. There's a lot of things that are not allowed in the UK for consumption. You're not supposed to consume it.
Most of Europe.
Most of Europe they're not allowed. It's illegal to put that in your food. But here, you got Cheetos at the freaking,
what was it, Yellow 5? That's a big one.
Yellow number 5 and whatever. I mean, you got a lot of these processed freaking foods in your, in your everyday school menus. I mean, hell, we've all known that soda is fucking horrible for you, but it's not a restricted item when you get your food stamps. And it's not. I've been on food stamps, so I know. It's not restricted. You can get soda, So there's little.
As far as
things,
I remember, food stamps. The only things you really can't get is like pre-prepared food.
Like there was like alcohol, pre-prepared food. There was like there was some. I haven't been on food stamps in forever.
Yeah, I'm talking about like 15 years ago, near 20 years ago now.
How about like 2017, somewhere in there is the last time I was on that.
That's when you first came here, right? Yeah.
When I first moved here, I only had like $300 in my pocket.
Yeah, I remember those days for you.
So, yeah.
I had to walk to work and shit. Yeah.
I had to walk to work.
Yeah, I remember.
Till you give me that car.
I remember.
Yeah. So that was...
that sucks.
Yeah, that sucked, but it had to be done.
Yeah.
It had to be done. But it's one of those things that you should, if you're getting money from the government to subsidize your meals for your family, if these things are bad for you and they're recognized worldwide that they're bad for you, you shouldn't be allowed to buy them. But it's just little things like that. I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, I first heard of BPA's and stuff like that, which is that chemical
in plastics.
In plastics, I first heard of it from a friend of mine when I was stationed in Iraq for a while.
Yeah, I remember hearing about it back then too, because the plastic bottles that we had over there.
Plastic bottles, yeah.
From Nestle 1.5 liter bottles. Yeah. So
this fantastic human being, shout out to Sean Burwell, fucking great friend of mine. Dude's been the truth forever. Freaking, he used to get water in glass bottles shipped to him to Iraq. Yeah, because he did not trust, and that's when I first heard about the BPA's. And he was telling me, he's like, look, these plastics have been sitting in the sun, baking, and then they're put in freezers or so the temperature changes and whatever, and the degradation of the plastic with the sun, all that degradation goes into the water, and that degradation has this chemical called BPA, and apparently BPA contributes to higher estrogen levels in males and stuff like that. And we all thought it was gobbledygook bullshit.
Right.
When he first, I kind of took it to heart when he said it, because Sean's never been one to just lie to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's not gonna just make up some shit and just lie. The stuff that he's told me in the past, and a lot of it's not only has it come to fruition, but it's been like he's had a lot of research to back it. And you start looking into this stuff, and I just couldn't afford to have glass water bottles shipped to me. As much
no
water.
kidding. That's an expensive shipment.
Yeah. So shipped to Iraq, to an FPO, So it's something that I couldn't afford, a change I couldn't afford to do. But now you see it all the time, non-BPA freaking water containers, and all this stuff. A lot of places have gone to aluminum. That's why Liquid Death has made such a huge push. Yeah, Liquid Death has made such a huge push. And they sell water. It's in aluminum containers that could have whatever, but neither here or there. I mean, it's
the steel double wall containers. They have like certain things about. I've heard there are certain companies, I don't remember which ones, that have higher lead content in the steel, and the lead leaches into the water.
Of course it
or
does.
whatever liquid you put in there.
Yeah, of course it does. I mean, so basically, there's a lot of contributing factors to the mental health decline in our nation. Higher sugar contents on everything. There's so many different things. So you just gotta, until we address the mental health stuff, you can't go into the legalities of things, because murder is illegal. We've crossed that bridge a long time ago. A person that grabs a firearm and goes and freaking kills other people without any justification for self-defense or preservation of life of themselves or another, they're a murderer. So that's already illegal. Whether he did it with a firearm, a knife, or a butter knife, or freaking a brick, that's inconsequential. That stuff is already illegal. So we need to move away from the legislation of things and inanimate objects that we don't like, and start trying to address the root cause of these things. Which is normally insane people, because you will have to be insane to walk into a school and kill classmates, people that you're in a school that you go in there and you start shooting people. There's a mental instability there that has to be addressed. And you can argue that, yes, the firearm could make that killing easier. Mm-hmm. And yeah, he could potentially kill less with another object. But then where does it stop? Look what's going on in Britain, in the UK. In the UK, the outlaw knives. And then it's like, no, not all knives. Now zombie knives, which is these gas station freaking crazy looking knives that you see.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. The novelty knives.
Zombie apocalypse novelty knives, And then they start talking about the lengths and whatever. But that place had a guy get stabbed with a narwhal horn freaking not too long ago. So it's
yep.
I mean, great googly moogly, man. People are going to find a way.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at. People are going to find a way. Since Cain and Abel, it's going to happen. So, yeah, you can mitigate guns, but you can also work on what makes somebody look at another person that they don't know and go, I'm going to kill that person, even though I don't know anything about them. That's what needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
Not too long ago, it wasn't strange in the United States to see several vehicles in the parking lot of a public school with freaking gun racks and guns in them.
Yep.
That wasn't that long ago.
When I went to school, I remember guys, showing up trucks with gun racks in the back windows.
That was not
and having
long
guns
ago.
in the racks in the parking lot. As long as you didn't bring the gun into the school,
into
it was
the
fine.
school. Yeah, this is not that long ago. You're younger than me, so this
exactly.
wasn't that long ago. So it's and you didn't see a crazy influx of these events happening. So it's you got to address the morality. Once that bridge is crossed, then you can start talking about maybe, this or that and the next needs to be amended or adjusted or whatever.
Right.
But that's what got Tim Walz in problem. Tim Walz, the freaking VP candidate on the Kamala Harris ticket, that's what got him in hot water. Him talking about guns and saying shit that he had never done.
Yep.
It's like, these weapons that I carried in war.
Never went to war.
You never went to war, bro. So then...
And those aren't war weapons. They're only semi-automatic.
Those aren't war weapons. But the thing is that it hit... Whatever point he was making was lost.
Yeah. Yeah, as soon as he lied. Yeah.
As soon as he fucking lied. So you can't.
I just think that argument is so garbage either way you look at it. I mean,
Either way you look at it.
The weapon was developed initially and put on the civilian market. The military adopted it.
Look,
it's a weapon design. That's all it is.
It's a weapon design. There's a lot of places that, California, freaking the restrictions are out of control.
Yeah.
And people are still dying over there by the hundreds. It's just like...
So I guarantee you I can do a lot more damage with a Benelli M4 than I can with an M4. In a very, very quick amount of time. It's a fucking semi-automatic shotgun, boy.
Yeah. Yeah, and that... Yeah,
it's a lot of damage. But I mean,
it's semantics is what we're getting at. It's just like so then they're like, okay, well we definitely can't pass this bill, so what are we gonna do? All right, we're gonna amend this or amend that, and then the ATF starts making their own rules, and that gets deemed unconstitutional, and then it's just like this running around. It's like everybody's trying to address the tool and not the
condition of the person.
Stop talking about the hammer and let's talk about the carpenter. Doing some shitty work here. It's not the freaking tool's fault. It's this dude who's lost his damn... It's out of his rabbit ass mind. So... Because if you don't think he would try to kill, even if he didn't have that, you're missing the point. You know what I mean? So... It's... Because unless your gun was made in Soviet Russia, it doesn't fire on its own.
In most cases, those guns don't fire on their own.
In most cases, it don't. But I've seen two of them freaking in front of my very eyes. Freaking.
I've seen guns legitimately fire on their own. Yeah. And not being overheated.
Like I see. Dude, a Tokarev freaking pistol.
Mm-hmm.
I loaded it for the next shooter. Like, put it on the table, and we both saw that thing, BOW! On its own.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the only weapon I've ever seen. That and a PPSH 40. They were Soviet era.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
weapons.
the cheap stamped out submachine guns from World War II.
Submachine guns, yeah. So it happens, but. So unless you have one of them freaking crappy Soviet era pieces of junk, they're not gonna shoot themselves, man. So it's you need an operator behind you, a person that runs that gun, and if that person's a couple sandwiches short of a picnic, with a high propensity for doing harm to others, may have a problem. But how are we addressing it? Immediately they look at the veteran community. It's like, oh, we gotta. Look at all these veterans. I was like, man, incidents of veterans freaking falling off the deep end and committing mass shootings are not dime a dozen. So these guys are, they've had some pretty good ones, but they're not common. It's we got to address the mental health issue with the population, the kids and stuff like that. And another thing is just increased security in schools, for the love of Christ. We're sending billions of dollars to Ukraine, billions of dollars that way, billions of dollars the other way, and we can't fucking fund local schools?
That's the thing. Like, if you actually take a look at how much, not just teachers, but administrative staff, what are they called? Instructional partners, but there's some teachers' aides, counselors, shit like that. These secretaries, how little they're paid, it's ridiculous. Like, that's barely minimum wage, or it is minimum wage. How are you actually staffing these campuses on these paychecks? It's ridiculous. Like, it cannot keep up with cost of living. Not a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Not a chance in hell.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are single moms themselves, the teachers and any other staff that works there. They're single moms. They've got kids to support. They got families to support. And they ain't making shit.
No, it needs to be addressed.
It's all district by district. So one district will pay more than another district to try to attract more teachers. But I mean, it's always competitive like that. It's the same thing as like police agencies. So one agency will pay more than another to attract more people. But I mean, it's ridiculous with teachers. Like, it's really, really low. I don't know what district in Texas would pay quite a bit, but it's got to be like a big city district, like Austin ISD or Houston ISD, something like that.
Right.
But it's bananas how little they're paid, and then securing them. So I mean, SROs are paid like by their agencies, like whatever agency they happen to work for, and typically trained cops that are in those positions are paid around, like, I think the lowest I've heard of recently is around 62,000, and the highest I've heard of is like 90. So I mean, the cops are paid quite a bit.
I mean, another thing that happens, and
quite a bit is relative.
Another thing that I've seen happen. I've had this discussion with my mom, because she was asking me some questions about this kind of stuff, and I'm like, well, I mean, what happens a lot of the time is that some departments that may have to run an SRO or a school resource officer, they may use that program as their box of broken toys. So
and that's a problem too.
That's a popular sentiment. Yeah. So and not necessarily that you get a bad cop, but you get a cop that chain of command don't want to deal with no more for whatever reason. Yeah. Whether he's standing on business and trying to advocate for what's right or whatever. Either way, he's made people sick and tired of him up in the chain of command. So they don't want him there no more. Whether he's competent or incompetent, that don't matter.
A lot of times it's the latter.
A lot of times it's the incompetent. So they'll shove them into that SRO spot to just stay there, chill there,
out of sight,
out of mind. They don't have to deal with them no more. And the school gets what they want, which is a police officer. They have no idea how shitty this dude is. Right. But they'll put him up there, and there he goes. And it does a disservice to a lot of those officers that are either there in that position by choice, or they're there because a department that's actually well ran puts high quality individuals in those positions
because they take it seriously.
They take it serious, the security of the children. So it varies from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, but the predominant sentiment in a lot of places, in a lot of jurisdictions, is the land of broken toys, and they just use that to shelf that officer over there to satisfy a need without having to fire this guy. It's sad, but that happens. However, a lot of this stuff would be solved with by redirecting some of the funds that we got, that we're spending all this money outward and not really focusing on us. You got all this stuff happening. You could damn near put a complete stop to school shootings by increasing
armed personnel on campus. That's the thing. It doesn't have to be an SRO. Texas passed that law, last year?
With the Guardians.
Yeah. So you got it's an option to have the Guardians program on there, which are armed personnel. Mm-hmm. They are not police officers. Then you have, the SROs, which are active police officers.
That's what Battle Troll does.
Yeah. Well, he does voluntary.
Voluntary.
So it's supposed to be unarmed.
Friends on duty or whatever.
Yeah, it's supposed to be unarmed.
Yeah.
So, so you got that. You got the.
But it's numbers nonetheless.
Right. It's still numbers, absolutely. Yeah. And they're there specifically for the protection of the kids.
Yeah, they got. So when you look at a guy like Battle Troll. So he may be unarmed while on duty, walking around, but you're looking at a dude with a vast experience in combat.
Yeah.
A senior NCO, with multiple years of combat experience, medical training, and just an overall nice person. Yeah.
Somebody who has proven themselves
as a human being,
cool in a crisis situation.
Yeah, cool in a crisis, knows how to handle himself, knows how to direct others.
Yeah.
In crisis, that's walking the halls.
Yeah.
And being friendly to your kids, and being a lot of these schools could benefit off of something like that. Even though they're not armed, you're still putting numbers and eyeballs on hallways. You're still having a guy that's voluntarily there for a few hours of his day, checking doors, making sure that what's locked was supposed to be locked is locked. Making sure that what needs to happen is happening, and with a little bit more training than your average civilian. It's beneficial for jurisdictions to explore that. It's also sad that people have to explore that, because when you get so much money being blown in overseas ventures, and you get this stuff happening domestically, just kind of like...
The unfortunate counter argument to that, though. So you got the money being sent overseas.
It's different budget lines.
One, it's different budget lines. Two, here's the thing. So just like you were talking about with food stamps and stuff, with the government giving you money, they can tell you how you're going to spend it.
Yeah, there's a dependency.
And it's the same thing if they give grants and money, stuff like that, to local districts for their schools. Now they can dictate how that district is going to spend that money. So they can only spend that money on security, or they can only spend that money on infrastructure, or they can only spend the money on cameras, or they can only spend the money on whatever. So they're not going to allow the district just to make a decision on where that money's going to go. And I can argue against that too, because that's probably a good decision, because the district's probably going to put it into their athletics program. Being realistic, more than likely, a district, because they run high schools, middle schools, elementary schools, everything. A district is probably going to put a lot of that money into their athletics program, because the athletics program returns money. Mm-hmm. So that's what they're going to do. So if the government gives them money, tells them you can't spend it on the athletic program, period, the district might not even take the money.
Well,
so
I mean, unfortunately,
which is dumb, but it does happen.
Unfortunately, my solution is not something I would like to see, but
which is
another government agency.
Oh my God, Department of Education ain't enough for you?
No.
They already have an agency for that.
It would have to, another government agency that does the securing of schools.
That does what? I'm sorry.
Specifically the security of schools.
The Department of Education is supposed to have something about that, but I don't think they have much to do with that.
I mean, it just makes government bigger and more in the middle of everything. It's just, but I mean, because if we're not gonna put money towards it, and we're not gonna address the thing is, this is one or the other. Like, if we're not gonna address the mental health crisis and try to freaking make people understand that grabbing your dad's gun and going on a shooting spree at your local school is no bueno.
Yeah.
Then what's the counter to that? Well, let's bunker this position and make it statically defendable. You know what I mean? So defensible. Let's make this position, the static position, defensible. So it's either way, it's gonna need some kind of government intervention. Is what I'm getting at. We're at that point where something has to give, and it may make government bigger. Yes, I hate it. It may make government more intrusive, but that's the plan all along. Come to me, my son. Come to me, my son. I will take care of you.
Yeah.
It's
Marxist authoritarian dictatorship. Yeah,
yes, it's the plan all along.
No.
Because you look at it, there's very few other solutions that don't involve a huge expenditure from a district. If you're gonna not use monies from the district, that those funds are finite, and they have budget lines that go in specific areas. If you're not going to use that, then you're relying on government funding. If you're relying on government funding, then just, you know what I mean? Like, if one is true, then yes, then yeah. The algorithm writes itself, and it's sad shit. It's sad shit. But the best non-intrusive way to deal with this is just the mental health aspect. If we can deal with the mental health, but they won't, because that is the only non-intrusive, less intrusive way of dealing with this crisis. But, I mean, because the government ain't going to take your guns away. They're not able to. There's too many out there already. These weapon manufacturing companies have a right They have a right, and they're legally able to sell weapons, and they're legally able to manufacture them, and that's not going away.
Yeah.
That's not going away. You have a constitutional right to possess and bear arms. That's not going away unless you
Depending
have
on what state you're in.
Yeah, I mean they can circumvent it. They can try.
Illinois, California, New York.
Yeah, they can infringe it. They infringe upon
Yeah.
it. They infringe upon it. But at the federal level, there's not a whole lot. You know, it's just another thing is that they're gonna start taking guns away, and they're gonna have a amnesty periods where you turn in your guns. They're not gonna pay you back what you paid for that.
Fuck no, they can't afford it for one.
Can't afford it. So
Just I got an AR-15 in the other room. It's worth about.
They got price caps on like so.
They
Those
give me $200 for it.
like Dallas did a gun buyback program a while back. Brandon Herrera was out there, freaking trying.
Oh yeah, trying to scalp them.
Trying to scalp the freaking the buyback program, which freaking was sponsored ironically by Shaquille O'Neal. He sponsored a couple of those freaking. You know, it's just kind of like you know they. That shit was brilliant, man. So then they banned him from the events, and then he couldn't. So he's trying to give you fair market value for your gun because these places where they had a cap, you know. So
yeah, something stupid like $200 per gun, right?
yeah, like
that's the most they'll give you.
No distinction on what the gun was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So. And then there was that other gun buyback that happened in some other state where this dude just made these guns out of wood and steel, and they were like,
oh my god,
they were like pipes recessed into wood.
Really?
And they didn't work, but they looked like guns. Like he just made a bunch.
It's like a bunch of replicas.
They were garbage. They looked like ass.
Really?
Look it up. They didn't even look like something that would legitimately work.
Yeah.
Like it was just like a pipe painted black inside of a wooden fucking body to made look like a rifle, and he fucking turned in a bunch of those and got a bunch of money out of it. And I mean, it's just like he's just scamming the place, and they just had to sit there and take it. You get, you know, gun education is a big freaking problem too. Not so many of these places have no clue.
Yeah.
Like you don't know how to do a functions check.
Yeah. The basics.
Like you can't.
Yeah.
Like not even pull the trigger, just kind of like, oh, this is a functioning piece of machinery. You know, not even that. Like you can't. I mean, it's just fucking bananas, bro.
Yeah.
It's bananas. I mean, we are over 200 years late for the banning of weapons in America.
Right. You had a chance after the Civil War.
Yeah, after the Civil War is when you had a chance to do all this bullshit.
That's it.
There's more. There's the guns outnumber people 2-1.
Yeah, yeah. I think America is like the most well armed. I'd have to look up the actual demographics,
We
it's
got
the most
over
well armed country in the
400
world.
million legal firearms out there. 400 million.
Yeah, in private ownership.
Or more in private ownership.
Yep.
It ain't happening.
What's the population of the United States? 300 million?
300 something million. So either way, I think the number's like 2-1. Yeah. Like there's like 2 guns for every American could freaking fucking be walking around. Man, woman, and child.
Was that line from Lord of War? It's like there's like one gun for every 12 people. My job is how do we arm the other 11?
The other 11, yeah. So I mean, yeah, you know, and even that guy that got released. The guy that movie is based on. Safe and sound, a merchant of death is safe and sound, and back home in Russia because freaking Brittany Grenier got arrested with weed in freaking Russia. You know, or Griner or Grenier, whatever the hell his name is.
That guy's name is.
Yeah, I don't know what that dude's problem was, but. I can understand it. I don't get it. I mean, he should have had a problem kneeling for that anthem as tall as he is, but or whatever she or whatever, you know. Either way, but it's just like, come on, man. There's a lot going on, and all that stuff's got to get worked on first. There's a lot of issues that got to be worked on. Taking guns away ain't it. So I guess Donald Trump is going to try and legalize marijuana.
He's got something that's trending on Twitter right now.
Probably that new indictment.
No, it's Trump's post. What does that say? Screw it, I'll just read it for everybody. Cease and desist. I, together with many attorneys and legal scholars, am watching the sanctity of the 2024 presidential election very closely, because I know better than most the rampant cheating and skullduggery that has, he actually used the word skullduggery correctly, but it's capitalized. Anyway, that has taken place by the Democrats in the 2020 presidential election. It was a disgrace to our nation. Therefore, the 2024 election, where votes have just started being cast, will be under the closest professional scrutiny, and when I win, those people that cheated will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, which will include long-term prison sentences, so that this depravity of justice does not happen again. We cannot let our country further devolve into a third world nation, and we won't. Please be aware that this legal exposure extends to lawyers, political operatives, donors, illegal voters, and corrupt election officials. Those involved in unscrupulous behavior will be sought out, caught, and prosecuted at levels unfortunately never seen before in our country. So that's making the rounds, right? I've seen that thing like posted and reposted like several times just sitting here surfing Twitter.
There's not a one right-leaning source that's pushing that.
What?
That same article?
Yeah.
Not one right-leaning source that's pushing it.
No, Hodge Twins just posted it.
Well, they either picked it up from The Hill or Z It Online. Because they're starting to ramp up the Russia collusion shit again.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because Vladimir Putin said that, I call him Putin.
Putin.
Yeah. Vladimir Putin. He's a big softy. He endorsed Kamala Harris.
Oh, really?
Which is fucking hilarious.
Don't want to deal with fucking Trump, man.
I don't want to deal with his loud mouth, man.
Yeah.
Well, shut the fuck up.
That's the thing I see about like foreign adversaries. Whoever they endorse or like they hope gets into office, you should probably vote for the opposite fucking person, because they know that motherfucker's going to be easy to deal with.
So they're saying that it's Russian collusion because of that argument.
Get the fuck out of here.
Remix.
Oh my god.
They spun it around. They're trying to spin it around. Yeah. But it's a fucking aircraft carrier in a lake, bro. So they're over there like, we get a positive spin on this. They're like, well, he said that he supports Kamala Harris. Well, that's likely because he actually wants people to vote the other way. You know, like that's.
So the opposite of what they did last time. So the opposite
of, yeah. So, yeah, that's the spin. Bro, I swear, these people don't have internet. Or they operate like within a restricted internet that only lets them see this or this. And it's like...
it's like they're on their work Wi-Fi or something where like everything is blocked.
Wi-Fi, you can't
look at a damn thing.
Can't log on to Steam and freaking.
So I tried to look at Reddit the other day. It's like I was looking up something for work. Saw a Reddit thing about it. I said, let me check what Reddit said about it. Oh, it's blocked, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's that's what they're doing. So they're like, oh, Putin freaking endorsed her. This must be Trump's doing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I'm telling you, man. Damn if you do, damn if you don't.
That's because they're sticking to their tactics. So, I mean, at least you can predict what they're going to do next. They're doing the same fucking playbook they did last time.
Well, what they're doing is, they're also making accusations of RFK now, and
yeah, of course.
and whatever.
Because now he's endorsed Trump.
Yeah. So now, and they're trying to bring charges on Elon Musk.
I haven't heard about that. What are they trying to charge him with?
So first off, I think it was Brazil, but I'm not sure.
I've heard about that.
So, but then other countries are hopping on this bandwagon thing where they're accusing him of being complicit. So the dude that operates Telegram got arrested in France.
I heard about that.
Under charges of facilitating freaking whatever, because his platform's completely free speech.
Okay.
So I guess he didn't make enough restrictions where I guess people committed crimes using Telegram and all this other stuff, to coordinate, and he didn't stop it or whatever. It gets stupid. He's out of jail right now, but he's restricted to France. Well, similar to that, some countries want to ban X because the free speech platform is actually infringing into their nefarious bullshit because people are speaking their mind. So then the chief of police in England said that they would file charges on Americans if they talk shit on whatever's going on down there in fucking England. Because I guess,
fucked.
Yeah, that's serious. Look.
Oh, I'm about to completely deep dive into UK current events. I fucking dare you to try it.
Yeah, so the UK police commissioner, they would file, he threatened Americans
with what, extradition?
With extradition, yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah. UK police commissioner threatens to extradite in jail U.S. citizens over online posts. We will come after you, he said.
On which platform?
London, whatever, don't matter.
Okay, good.
London's Metropolitan Police Chief warned officials that he will not only be cracking down on British citizens' commentary on the riots in the UK, but American citizens as well.
Oh.
We will throw the full force of the law at people, and whether you're in this country committing crimes on the streets or committing crimes from further afield online, we will come after you, Metropolitan Police Commissioner Sir Mark Rowley told Sky News.
Sir.
Hey, Sir Lick-a-Lot, lick on my balls.
Dude.
Hey.
That was the London Metro?
Yeah. Mark Rowley. Lick my balls. I don't give a fuck about you and your stupid fucking warrant. I tell you what.
Metropolitan Police. It's Met Police UK.
Come and fucking serve that warrant.
It's Met Police UK on X.
Yeah. Yeah, you tell them on X to go get fucked.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, your riots suck, and you guys aren't doing anything about it. You haven't arrested a single Muslim. That's what they're doing. They're arresting all the citizens. People are burning the damn country down, and they're over there playing DEI bullshit. Yeah, they went woke, and now they're on fire. Yeah. It's so bad. Fucking Conor McGregor's going for the presidency of freaking Ireland. He announced the other day. That's how bananas that freaking side
McGregor?
Yeah, Conor McGregor, the fighter.
I know who Conor McGregor. He's going for.
Yeah. He announced his candidacy for president of Ireland. Yes.
He'll win.
And he's got backing.
He'll win just based on popularity.
Bro, people are like, hell yeah, make Ireland great again.
Oh, shit.
Yes, sir. That happened last week. That's no shit.
What?
That's no shit. Yeah. Yeah. So riots have broken out across the UK in recent days over false rumors spreading online that asylum seekers are responsible for mass stabbings on a Taylor Swift themed dance event that left 3 girls, and some girls were stabbed in the murders. Allegedly, what?
Metropolitan Police.
Yeah.
Detectives investigating Musi Imentu's murder. Queensway seek these witnesses, my ass, those are suspects, to aid the investigation. Musi died following assault on the 26th of August. If you recognize, all the people in that fucking photo are black or Arab looking.
Yeah.
All of them.
So I told you. Said it. They're playing identity politics over there.
That's why I told you, because what you were saying, I just passed that little thing.
Yeah, playing identity politics, man. So people.
Oh, it's false that the immigrants are doing. No, it's not. It's not.
No.
It's just not politically correct to say so.
Yeah, it's not. So the people that they actually have arrested are the locals, the people that actually
local and citizens.
Yeah, the citizens. They're not bothering with the immigrants. It's bananas, bro. The DEI stuff's gone all over. It's gone worldwide.
Which is nuts.
It's a UN the tinfoil hat.
Oh, was that the
hat time?
What was the thing we were talking about? We were talking about it at some point. It's the UN's 5-year plan or something like that.
Yeah, the Agenda 2025.
Something like that. Yeah.
Well, Agenda 2030 or whatever the fuck it was, which has been misconstrued now.
Yeah, 2030.
Yeah. So the diversity, equity, and inclusion agenda has swept the freaking at least that half of the world, and they're struggling over here in the United States, but Canada's already fell. With Justin Trudeau freaking stomping out the truckers by seizing bank accounts and all that nonsense.
Freezing them.
Yeah, freezing bank accounts. Working folk, but
for protesting.
For protesting. Yeah, for protesting. So
you protest, we're going to seize your account or freeze your account.
Yeah, you.
What the fuck?
It's like, you don't have to do when the citizenry airs their grievances, you don't have to listen to them.
It's true.
You can just let them air it. You don't have to do anything about it.
Yeah, but you do have to let them say it.
But you got to let them say it. You don't have to. You don't have to make any changes.
Well, really, that only applies to the United States.
You should.
That really only applies to the United States.
But it's smart.
Because redress of grievances is in our Constitution.
Yeah, it's in our Constitution. But when people want to redress their grievances, you can let them redress their grievances. You don't have to. You don't have to do what they say. You're the government. You sit on your hands like you've done before the grievances were aired. And then the grievances will be aired and it'll stay the same way. They do that anyways, but now they're squashing people that air the grievances. It don't make sense. It's if anything, what they're doing is accelerating the possibility of them having to change it on purpose because it's gonna get out of hand. So, they want to protest, let them protest, dude. Just kind of like, I don't know. But here in the United States, we have a constitutional freaking thing. We gotta protect the. People pay taxes, and part of those taxes is supposed to be for them to be able to freaking live the way they want and pursue the happiness and all that good stuff. So if you're burning a city, you should probably see some consequences to that. And so far, they're just going out after people online.
Yeah. If you guys are saying naughty things online, we don't like it. We're going to press charges. How in the fuck? That guy has got to be a fucking moron. How are you going to enforce that?
He is a moron.
How are you going to enforce that?
He is a moron.
You're actually going to, send Scotland Yard to, Central Kansas with some motherfuckers that said some shit online? What the fuck are you going to do? You're not going to petition the United States to arrest one of its own citizens for some shit they said online. It's not illegal here.
Yeah.
And it's not illegal in the UK either. You can't just... But they're doing it. They're fucking arresting people because last month there was like 12 arrests for online bullshit?
Mm-hmm.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
Yeah. So...
Oh, shit.
What?
Local news.
Oh, okay.
KXXV, the Texas Department of Public Safety, has confirmed that the Texas Rangers are investigating the McLennan County Sheriff's Office.
Oh yeah, that guy. He had deputies work in his ranch.
Oh fuck that!
Yeah, slaves, or something.
Wait, were the deputies or the inmates?
Oh, the deputies.
Oh, they're inmates.
Probably with inmates. Yeah, during duty hours or some shit like that. Yeah.
Investigation of McLennan County Sheriff. Just saying that no details on what the investigation is on are available at this time. Bullshit, yeah.
They're available.
Sheriff Parnell McNamara, who also declined to comment. Yeah, of course. Alleges that McNamara had a deputy work on private property that McNamara owns. Per the article, the deputy was allegedly on duty at the time. That's all this article says.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, it had to be bad. For that to
Yeah.
the Rangers. I want you bait on my head, boy.
And the thing is, it very well could be not just that deputy. He might have been the only paid person that was working on his ranch, but he might have been the outside work crew.
He might have been running the inmate work crew.
Yeah. If McLennan County Jail has an outside work crew, he might have been running it. They were like cutting grass on his property or some shit. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's. I can think of a couple of charges.
That's bonkers.
Dude. What?
I mean, but we're speculating, so.
Well, I mean, we only have the little bit of information that was in that one article so far, so. But I mean, our speculations aren't unreasonable.
No.
I mean, if it was a patrol deputy, because they say deputy and they don't say jailer, and usually the people who run outside work crews are deputies. So, I mean, it could be that, or it could be a patrolman, or it could be a detective. Who knows? But if they were working on his private property, that's what the hell are they doing, for one thing? And why? Because I imagine the deputy just agreed to do it because his sheriff told him to come out there and do it.
Yeah, so.
If it was an outside work crew thing, that's any number of people that could have reported it, especially the crew. And they're inmates. They're being worked on the sheriff's private property. So there's actually stipulations on that. An outside work crew can only work on public property that is owned by the jurisdiction that they are being interred in. So, like, you got a
In so
county.
facto, that, yeah, it's, yeah. So the sheriff in charge of the county, his property is from the sheriff. So the sheriff and the property are in the service of the state.
No.
Because that property offers them rest and relaxation.
That is not how that works. And you know that. Quit trying to argue that bullshit. You know damn well you're wrong.
So get to work, slaves. So, here, these animals of husbandry have to be taken care of for the betterment of the state. You know?
That's a
I mean, maybe, I don't know.
That's a sticky one right there, man.
It could be as frivolous as say fucking.
But that's the most likely thing I can think of.
Yeah, but dude, I can also see it being as petty as a work crew running a freaking lawnmower on an easement or on a curtilage.
Well,
you know, I can see
the
it
most,
being that.
the most
I can see
petty
it being
thing I
that
can
dumb.
think of is like
I can see it being that dumb.
he had something wrong with one of his vehicles and he called a deputy out there to help him out.
No, that wouldn't have made the Texas Rangers. That wouldn't have made the news for sure. That would have been laugh.
But I can
Because
see
the primaries are over.
That's
So
true.
yeah, so, yeah. So yeah, that
But I mean,
that would have been.
if he was on duty at the time, came out there, he's not
That would
supposed
have been
to.
another net. He'd have been like, hey, you know, I got these resources and I used them because otherwise I'd be calling next in line, which is was spending taxpayer dollars for whatever. So yeah, no, that's easily.
In my head, the most likely thing is the outside work crew.
The outside probably. Who knows?
I don't know.
But it don't say. So
I'll keep an eye on it. I'm pretty sure it'll make the news around here.
oh yeah, it'll blow up here.
If you don't know, McLennan County is where Waco is.
Or as my mom says, wacko.
It is Waco.
Wacko.
I don't like that town at all. I used to love Waco.
Only been there a few times.
I used to love that place, but it has gotten so stupid.
Oh, that's what we wanted to get. Face on Waco one time.
Yes.
The fucking bar.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, we got freaking chocolate wasted.
Yeah, we got pretty fucked up.
Yeah, that was sketch.
I remember that too. 'Cause, yeah, I remember the end of the night. We tried to,
Yeah, we ended up yelling at our apartment.
something like, It's my buddy's apartment. We were trying to, he wouldn't answer the fucking door.
Yeah, he freaking ditched us.
He probably passed out.
He was passed out.
Yeah.
Like,
we were thinking he was hooking up with some girl, but that was not the case. He just went in there.
Yeah. Like, he never even made it to the bed.
Yeah. He just went in there and passed out.
That's funny. Well, I mean, that's what's happening in the world. Freaking England's turned into a Soviet Union. And,
Quickly, too. Quickly.
Yeah. Courtesy of freaking Sir Keir Starmer's.
What'd you say?
That's his name. Oh no. That's criticizing another dude. It's so many sirs.
So I want to get rid of titles.
Commissioner Rowley.
Rowley?
Yeah.
He looks like the Crypt Keeper.
I tell you what, you're more than welcome to send your boys down Central Texas. That sir shit ain't gonna fly down here. That dog don't hunt, boy. You can get past my interlocking fields of fire. More than welcome to have some tea.
I never met anybody with a title.
I'll give you tea.
Mark Rowley responds after throwing journalist's microphone to the ground. British anti-racism campaigners face down far right as police remain on alert.
As a matter of fact, this video qualifies as what he's talking about.
Yeah. Dissent or criticism?
Yeah, dissent against the crown. Because,
fuck off.
It's fucking...
I give a
I tell you what...
damn about that crown.
Have your king suck your dick. How about that? Yeah. Pardon my French.
Yeah, one of my closest friends is British. So.
Yeah, it is. And he'd say the same thing.
He'd say the same.
Because he ain't a citizen there no more.
He is.
Yeah.
If you were born with the citizenship, you can keep it. You don't have to renounce it.
That's right.
That and the UK doesn't recognize that. Like, if some country forced you need to renounce your UK citizen, the UK doesn't recognize that you renounced it. You'll always be a UK citizen.
Yeah, I thought we did for some reason. I don't know why. Because you can't swear allegiance to whatever. But it's
here's his post on
I don't want to fall in
X.
the weeds on that, but
Commissioner Sir Mark Rowley, we will throw the full force of the law at offenders. Being a keyboard warrior does not make you safe from the law. If you are committing crimes on the street or online, we will come after you.
fucking Judge Dredd over there.
It's a fucking video. I'm gonna tag you in this.
Oh, tag me on it,
Yeah,
please.
it's a video.
There's a video?
Oh, they got replies restricted.
Because people have been talking shit. And they're like, oh shit, we're gonna run out of space at the jail. How many officers do we got? We gotta send people to fucking how many countries are in the planet?
Can you see posts that I like? Do you have my ex profile on yours? Because we're following each other. So.
Are we?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Every time I put in your
I
name.
know.
The fuck?
I know, I'm a fucking idiot, dude. No. Let's see.
It's a full-on video too.
All right, so I got you on there. I'm on your page.
Okay.
So
there, I just liked it. So I'm gonna refresh the page or something and see if it comes up. Either that, or I'll just send you this fucking link.
all you gotta do is repost it on your wall, and it shows up on your wall.
I don't know how to do that.
You hit the little arrows that are like.
Oh, I can just share it to you.
You can just share it.
Come to your Facebook Messenger.
Dude, that's even worse. Just share it into your wall.
No.
Just repost it.
No, check your Facebook Messenger.
You can do.
There you go. I know it reached you because I heard the ding.
Yeah, you hit it over there.
Yeah, I know.
I don't have it here.
Why not?
Like I gotta do this whole log on thing.
Fine, I'll repost it. There, I just reposted it. I want to see which one inconveniences you more.
Dude, I got like all these tabs open here. It's like fucking some of them are loading and some of them are not loading. It's like you're gonna fucking.
I'm fully aware.
Like cause a knip shit on my fucking. That's how we lost audio last time, I'm sure.
What?
Some bullshit like it came out like I was sending a fax. Either that or the feds got a hold of my profile or something. Oh, good God. Had to log out and go back in. This is the last shit we're talking about today. Waiting on fucking Twitter now. Or X or whatever.
I posted it to my thing. I see it.
Yeah, great. I don't. There it goes. We're on X now. Awesome.
Is everything okay?
Here we go.
You see it yet?
No, I'm going on your profile now.
Is it there?
There it is.
Sweet.
Oh no, it locked up. It won't let me scroll up. You fucking dickhead. Go. Alright. Let's see what Alright, let's see what this butthole for lips is saying.
Told you to look like a Crypt Keeper.
So we'll throw the full force of the law at offenders, whether that's charging people with assaults, violent disorder, riot, and if terrorism offences are appropriate, I know the Director of Public Prosecutions has said he's prepared to consider that.
Barely legible.
We will throw the full force of the law at people. And whether you're in this country committing crimes on the streets or committing crimes from further afield online, we will come after you.
Talk to me about that, because we have seen some high-profile figures whipping up the hatred. You talked about it in there with the officers, in fact, about this being added to by online commentary. I mean, I'm even thinking of the likes of Elon Musk getting involved. What are you considering when it comes to dealing with people who are whipping up this kind of behaviour from behind a keyboard, maybe in a different country?
Being a keyboard warrior does not make you safe from the law. You can be guilty of offences of incitement, of stirring up racial hatred. There are numerous terrorist offences regarding the sort of publishing of material. All of those offences are in play if people are provoking hatred and violence on the streets, and we will come after those individuals just as we will physically confront on the streets the thugs and the obs who are causing the problems for communities.
But how? I need more. How? Cause you're quoting something like Elon Musk. Elon Musk lives in Texas.
You know he has spaceships, right?
And he has ships, yeah.
You know,
he's the only person on the planet that can say he has spaceships.
Yeah,
I have ships.
Richard Branson, you know.
Does he anymore?
Yes, a Virgin.
I know he has Virgin
whatever.
Yeah, but I don't think they do any kind of
they have
space
that
flight
one
anymore.
Tourist stuff spaceship that goes
Do
like right at the edge of space. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he doesn't fly rockets into space.
No,
like
I got that.
But
I didn't think Virgin was still doing that.
I mean, they do tourist rides, I'm sure, like for him and his buddies, or
probably
stage a bunch of hookers up there.
Fuck yeah. Cocaine at
0
100,000
gravity.
feet. Yeah.
It's like,
Didn't even think of that.
Trying to hunt a line as it fucking floats in the fucking.
Holy shit! Hey, how's this cat? What the fuck do you think you can do? Your power doesn't go that far. There's nothing you can do about it. I can call you like the worst shit that I can think of, a faggoty little cunt. What are you gonna do about it? It's the internet, bro. You gonna track me down?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You'll realize in the process why you shouldn't.
Yeah.
If you're doing it correctly. What the fuck?
You're not a cop in Texas, boy.
No idea.
Sir, boy.
You have no idea what you're doing.
Sir, boy. I call you whatever the fuck I want. You know what I mean? Like, it's just...
Yeah.
Just like you can call me whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
It's the
internet.
You know, we fought this a long time ago. Y'all lost. So this argument was settled a while ago. Like, we bringing up old shit. You know. But this isn't something just unique to the UK.
I don't get why he would even say that.
Because he's a fucking idiot.
He got that posting somehow. Well, the sir probably helped.
Yeah, he's not smart. That's why he's not smart. So that's why he posted that.